We've arrived.
What do you mean?
We've hit the big time.
What are you talking about?
I didn't tell you. We're live on MoJo 50 now.
Oh, that. I could have sworn they were just pulling a fast one on us.
Either that or someone at the top has had a mild stroke. Regardless, we now have to make a promo.
Okay, well, that seems simple enough. How long does this have to be?
I was told that we need to take about 60 seconds or so and tell everyone about ourselves.
All right. I was born in a blizzard in the bleak hours of the morning in November.
No, I don't think we need to go back quite that far.
All right, then. I'm Steven.
And I'm Dylan, and we're hosts of the Defenders of American Exceptionalism,
or DOAE show for short.
And we are live Wednesdays and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on MoJo 50.
We go through the politics of today and how it affects the culture and vice versa. And we try to bring it back to the Constitution and the principles above privilege.
You know, I feel like there should be a shirt made with that on it.
Yeah, we already have that.
Oh, so don't forget to check us out. Defenders of American Exceptionalism live Wednesdays and Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on MoJo 50.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, the mighty MoJo 50.
Miss Universe is not a man. Your Miss Universe 2018 is not a man. That seems like such an odd thing to say, but in today's world, it's, you got to point those things out just to make sure you know. It's,
yep. It's a strange world in which we live.
God bless us all. Miss Universe is not a man. So that's just, can you imagine saying that to somebody?
It's time to dig up Dad.
30 years ago. Hey, Dad, we revived you just to tell you about what's going on in the world today. Headlines, Miss Universe is not a man.
Wait, what? Why would she be?
Oh, it's so much to tell you. So
Dad,
much to tell
down.
you. Sit down. There's a lot of things you got to know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's not the transgender candidate from Spain.
She didn't even make the top 20, did she?
No, she did not. But the most surprising part is the first transgender contestant in Miss Universe was not from Thailand.
That is kind of odd. No lady boy.
Right. I mean, if any country in the world has been planning, has been primed for years, getting ready for the moment that lady boys could be part of the actual, it's Thailand.
Yes.
I mean, how pissed are they today? Are you kidding me? We've been planning this for 30 years.
We even named our biggest city after it.
We did. Come on, let's go. We're here. Okay.
Wow, and some people pay good money.
By the way, I think they need to be more forthcoming with the details.
Wait a minute. Who?
The transgender folk. I'm tired of having to investigate or ask. First of all, tell us in a story where you don't know. Well, this one's obvious, transitioning from a man to a woman.
Yeah.
But ones where they don't lay it out. They're just like, hey, a congressional candidate from such and such district is trans. You're like, which way?
From what to what? Yeah.
And then I want to know how far along what part of the transition are you? Where did you stop? Where are you at now?
It's hard to even describe what you want to know.
Right, exactly. But because I don't know this Miss Spain.
Right. Did she do the Prince Albert or did she have to?
She go under the knife.
Right.
Because I got to tell you, when she walked out, if you don't know, what are you doing? You're trying to figure out if you can see anything.
Yeah, you're staring.
Right.
And then you feel creepy.
Then I found myself, and it's not the normal creepy of staring at that area. That's accepted. I'm a guy.
You're looking for something you're not usually looking for.
Exactly, and that's the creepy part. It's not the staring at the area.
Uh-huh.
That's we've accepted that, right?
I want it. Can I? Is it that? No, I can't. I can't tell if that's what it is.
I mean, we pretend we're not staring, and we're staring at it.
Yeah, of course we are.
The guys, you all know that. But then you find yourself staring. You're like, what am I doing? I'm staring at that, and I'm looking for something wrong here.
Yes.
It's like that hidden picture puzzle in the highlights. High Life's the beer.
Yeah.
High Lights is the kids thing.
But if you drink High Life, it gets even more fun.
Yeah, it's like the hidden picture. Like, wait, I see an acorn.
No,
there's a spoon. An acorn. It's not a spoon. There's a cat with no.
Why do they wear
penis? There it is. There, right? No, that's not it. Just the light. Remember,
if no one wanted to look at it, they wouldn't have to wear something to cover it up.
Thank you very much.
So,
but by the way, I saw Miss Spain, and this is what threw me off, because I was like,
She, you know what? The funny thing, I didn't even pay any attention to her.
She looked like Michelle Obama there for a moment.
Oh, really?
Well, there's like a little whatever, you know.
Spain.
Yeah, she's actually a model. He's a. See what I'm saying?
Oh no! Is that her?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So,
but you got to see in the bathing suit as you came out. But regardless, I think shouldn't they just be? It should just be standard. You tell us, so I don't find myself looking, going, I think see something. Somebody's like, no, she had the operation 3 years ago. I feel like an idiot.
I can see the guy in her. You can see the guy in the face.
I have a clip of her questions. Hang on, let me pull this up.
Miss Spain.
Because we have to pretend like, what they say matters.
Well, I think
Well, you just ruined my gag there. Thanks for that, Brad. I was officially going to go to...
You have to tell me about these things. Let's pretend I just didn't go there.
We have an official clip of her. I don't need to win this universe.
You have to warn me of these.
Side.
You go ahead. Pretend I didn't hear anything.
No, that was pretty much it.
I want to hear the clip of her.
That was pretty much it. That was all.
I told you I could see the guy in her.
All right. We rang the bell. By the way, this is important because some kids in the UK are now being taught that all genders can have periods. It's part of their new sex ed
What's
class.
wrong with that?
Brighton and Hove City Council agreed on the new curriculum as they try to tackle stigma around menstruation. Apparently, menstruation has a stigma. It's a stigma.
Sure it is. Absolutely.
I don't know what the stigma is.
That's because you haven't had to live with it all your life.
Bull crap. Bull crap, ladies. You think you have it bad living with menstruation? Trust me. You have it easy. You have the easy part. I mean, you go through the little roller coaster there. You have some discomfort.
Yeah.
It's a big gotcha. I'm sure that's unpleasant. But what is also unpleasant is Trust me, you got the easy part. It's the drunk or dealing with the drunk. Remember,
that's
right?
true. Yeah,
you get all liquored up, you get drunk, and it can be very uncomfortable at times, right?
Yep.
You wake up with like missing a leg, and you all beat up, you hung over. Imagine dealing with that. Yeah, exactly. Would you rather be the drunk or deal with the drunk? Council said, by encouraging effective education on menstruation and puberty, we hope to reduce stigma and ensure no child or young person feels shame in asking for period products inside or outside of school if they need them.
Wow. Men have been dealing with that one forever, too.
We believe that it's important for all genders to be able to learn and talk about menstruation together. Well, thank you, because,
Nothing I
love better, right?
Wow, yeah, just getting together with the women folk and
sitting
discussing.
around. I like it over dinner is what I like. Just sitting down around a good meal and going, let's all talk about and learn about menstruation together.
Yes, there are things I'm sure I could learn.
Yeah, that's fun. I thought it was pretty simple back in the that you didn't need much. Here's the education. This stuff happens. This is.
Yep, every month.
Yeah, and here's the general, this happens, that happens. I mean, how long is that conversation?
15,
couple of minutes?
Nah, 15, 20 seconds. I think that's it. Cover it over a minute.
from a guy's perspective, it could be, and I will be generous in my amount of time here and say 10 minutes.
But it feels like a lifetime.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, boys, when you're in school, you go through sex ed class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can spend 10 minutes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you need to know officially, boys.
Mm-hmm.
From a biological perspective, here's what happens. Here's why it happens. Here's what happens. Here are the effects. That's 5 minutes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe another 5 minutes, just go, listen to me. Get out now. Get out now. Reconsider being gay. Just if there's any possibility you're gay, just go with it.
It'll be so much simpler.
So much easier. And of course, you need 5 minutes on you're wrong to the boys.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah.
We'll do a little role play of what's to come when you deal with women who are on that menstrual cycle. All right, and Steven in the back, dumb Steven, that's not a mode of transportation.
No.
Okay. Here's a little role play. Bradley J. Staggs will play average husband coming home and talking to his wife, and I'll play the wife. Just a little role play. And he was,
I walk in the door. Hey, honey, how are you today?
what's that supposed to mean?
I mean, how was your day?
Oh, like you really care what's wrong with my day?
I do care.
You
I
don't
just
love me.
I
You
just
don't
wanted to
love me.
I just wanted to know
Are
how
you cheating on me?
I
You've
know.
been
I
cheating.
just got. Wow, that took a really drastic turn there at the
Yeah,
end.
exactly. That's
And it could happen at any time, guys.
yes,
Just
exactly.
be aware of that.
And you're wrong. Even if you're right, you're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you need to know. What is that? 10-minute done.
If that, again.
Yeah, Mr. Tom, you're wrong. Yeah, just you're wrong.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
If you
So-
if you can nail that one down, you'll be happy the rest of your life.
And that's pretty simple, right?
It is.
I mean, you
It
teach
is
the
simple.
thing, you're in, you're out, you're done, you move on.
Yeah.
But the real reason that they want to put this out there is because they see menstruation as an impediment. And I'm sure it is at times.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
sure
I can
it's
believe
a natural
that.
impediment.
Absolutely.
You got to deal with this
Yep.
thing, right? Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
I wouldn't want to do it.
And I was sure in poorer communities where you do not have access to feminine hygiene products, which are now, I guess, just hygiene products.
Oh, that's true. Except still at Kroger, it does say feminine hygiene.
Sorry, they gotta
need
change
to
that.
Change that, yeah.
I'm sure it is a health issue even at times.
Oh, yeah. I would
Okay.
think.
So that's fine. I would think the bigger health issue, though, is not having feminine hygiene products,
Right.
I'm sure can be a health issue. The bigger issue, though, is using non-feminine hygiene products in a feminine hygiene products way. Or
Okay, yeah.
not
Right.
swapping out new feminine hygiene products for the old ones quick enough.
Right. Yes. All of those could be
Because
issues.
if you're just willing to let it fly,
Yeah. Aren't there some, weren't there some protests some woman did that?
yes, they did. Seriously, if you're willing to let it fly, that's going to be a lot better for you than using things that are not designed for such or not changing enough. So even that. But okay, I'll give you the
Right.
benefit. Yeah, there are impediments to it. There are also impediments to, let me think, everything else.
Yeah.
But they want, again, this is once again, the progressive thing of victim for control. Now, this city council has released a trans inclusion schools toolkit.
A what? A
Trans inclusion school toolkit.
Okay. There's.
It's to help teachers treat gender identity sensitivity.
I think the tool should be removed from the. But
Seems rather inappropriate.
does.
Yes. This toolkit, we'll call it a dick kit. Directs teachers to be respectful and inclusive of children who are questioning their gender. Okay.
All right.
I would think any teacher should feel that way anyway.
Yes, should be respectful of anybody who's.
I mean, listen, even if you are staunchly against trans or believe that it's people aren't really trans or whatever,
Right.
you got to recognize there's something going on here,
Sure.
right? Whether you think it's a mental disorder, doesn't matter. There's something going on. And of course, you should be respectful and sensitive.
They're
Just the
still
right thing to
human
do.
beings.
Absolutely. And you don't have to be, all this, you're crazy, kid, and put them into an. You don't have to go that far. Just
you may want to, but don't do it.
No, exactly. I would say this is one of those. You turn it over to the parents. Here you go, teachers. Here's what you need to do. When confronted with this issue, you say, wow, I understand. You know what? Let's talk to mom and dad.
Yes.
And you move on, wise. And it's none of yours. But that's not what they do. It tells them that they must actually be sensitive to it, number one, and tells them that they, if they purposefully do not refer to children by the preferred pronouns that the children give them,
right,
that can constitute harassment, and they can be punished or prosecuted. And further, it recommends the school adopt non-gender uniforms as well as curriculum so all children feel included and to reduce bullying.
So if they wear jumpsuits, they're not going to get bullied? I mean, that's what it's saying, basically. You all wear the same jumpsuit and no one's going to bully you because you'll all look the same.
See, if you're saying that we need to tell boys that they can have periods too, to prevent bullying, if you're going to teach this to prevent bullying, well, I would say you haven't. It's been a long time since you've been in school. Because I tell you, if you're telling all the boys, hey, you two can have periods,
right? This is not going to end well.
No, it just gives them something else to. Brad has a period. He's gender. He's tranny.
He's gendered.
He's gendered. All that's just going to do is give him more ammunition. That's.
They don't think these things through, do they?
No, the curriculum says that trans boys and men and non-binary people may have periods.
I love that band, by the way, in the 80s, Trans Boys and Men.
I like non-binary people, though.
Their first album was really good compared to the second one.
The second was such a ripoff.
It really was.
It really was just old Elvis songs.
Yeah.
Come on.
Be creative.
They said that menstruation must be inclusive of all genders.
Damn, how many times today alone have I said that?
I have it on a T-shirt.
Jeez.
And
finally.
Then they said that in schools, bins used for disposing of menstruation products will be provided in all toilets for all children.
Good. Finally. Every time I go into the bathrooms here at the studio, I wonder where the hell is the bin?
A few years ago, I broadcast from Old Town. I think it's Old Town, Philadelphia. It's near where Constitution Hall is and such. And Philadelphia is a big union town. Huge union town.
Yep.
And some locals there were telling me, because they had one of those giant inflatable rats out there, the pro-union people fighting it's the anti-union construction and that.
Right.
And somebody that I was interviewing said, by the way, that building over there, right up down the street, has no, I think it's plumbing in the upper floors. I forget what it was. I think there's no plumbing.
Right.
I forget why it doesn't.
You mean that permanently it was never going to have plumbing on the upper floors?
Yeah. I don't know why it was, but anyways, that seems odd to me as I'm saying it, but I can't remember why they were not. But regardless, they needed that. They made them plumb it, put the pipes in the wall,
just to have them there
because of the union jobs.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That they were never going to use this stuff, but they made them put it in for the union. They're like, this will never be used. Doesn't matter. You got to have it in the walls for the union jobs there. Isn't that what you're talking about here? You're talking about spending money on buying these bins, putting them in the boys' restrooms, and then somebody to empty those bins, which every day they will come by and they will dump out air into the other and move on.
No, here's what those bins will now be used for. Drug drops.
Could be.
I mean, come on. What it's going to be pristine in there in the boys' bathroom. Until the first guy decides to pee in it.
Well, that could be.
Yeah.
It'll be like Cleveland Stadium, old Cleveland Brown Stadium.
Oh, did they? But
pee in the trash cans, the corner. I mean, this is an old stadium built turn of the 20th century.
It smelled like urine everywhere.
Well, that in Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
So there you go, Brad. How do you feel today now?
I stick by my initial statement this morning that we should all have just taken this week off. And I mean by all, I mean everybody in the entire country.
Ron Phillips,
Very good. Very good.
Paper right here.
Look at you.
He had it available. But
He did.
Ron Phillips, Brad and I had a thought here that maybe we all, because we were like, this week nothing's going to get done next week, but some people kind of have to come in, and we're trying to build an audience here, so we got to be a gotcha. But what if the whole world just decided to take the day off?
Yeah.
It's really only a problem like getting things done or saying certain people can't take it. If we all agree to take the day off, then it's not a problem,
National
right?
Day Off Day or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why even name it? Just take the damn thing off.
Well, no, I think we got to make it a holiday, an official holiday, right? I mean, we got holidays where you celebrate by eating, by buying gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Why not a holiday? I mean, Thanksgiving's pretty much, I know it's giving thanks, but modern times is pretty much having a big meal.
Yep.
Why can't we have one that, okay, how do you celebrate? Sleep.
Yep. Rest.
Good point.
Couldn't you, and why?
Everybody
if we do
could.
it on a Friday or a Monday, we can have that holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
And then
every employer in the country would die.
Think about this. Think about it, right?
Would they? Would they?
I'll trade out
but they would all
MLK
claim
Day
that they
for
would
it.
lose tons of money.
Well, let's just replace it. Or let's just say on a holiday this, like MLK Day. What do? You sleep. President's Day. That's how you celebrate. Everybody gets it off when we sleep.
Well, we lost a holiday there, too, because didn't they combine Washington and Lincoln's birthdays?
Into President's Day.
Yeah. So
then,
we lost it. We lost a day.
Well, and then some businesses will give you the option. Do you want off President's Day or MLK Day? I've worked with companies that give you one or the other.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
No, it doesn't.
Why didn't you get both? So if you got a side on one or the other, that's a problem.
Yeah, they call them floating holidays at that point. Yeah.
But okay, so now, like prior to Thanksgiving, you go, so do you guys have turkey? What are you going to do? And here's what a Thanksgiving meal, all these food-centric things, right? And Christmas, even though there's more to it, it's about gifts. What are you buying in the 12 days and all this stuff? Imagine if we had one about sleep,
And
which I think we could all use, and then it becomes this. So what are you going to do on Schlecht? Is that German for sleep?
I think it is. I think that is.
Schleftenhagen.
Schleftenhagen.
Whatever.
Wow, I didn't know you spoke fluent
well,
German.
I mean, all of us had that German history, and everyone just loves the holiday.
It would be forbidden to text and or call anyone.
Thank you.
No way. Hang on.
What are you going to wear? Did you get new PJs? Hi, it's Doc Thompson's Pajama Shop. We've got a sale for Schleftenhagen.
See?
What is Hagen, by the way?
A lot.
Okay, good.
So sleep a lot.
That's right. Doc's footy pajamas.
I just wear the footies. I forget the rest of the pajamas.
We are preparing. We've decorated the house.
Yep.
We've turned the thermostat on the perfect whatever. Turned everything off.
Degrees.
Right.
That's right. Got the eye masks on. Ready to just hit it all day.
We've drugged the kids. We've duct taped into the bed. We are good to go.
Yeah.
We're ready to go.
Be billed as the day time forgot.
Yeah.
Man, that
Because
sounds
we would
awesome.
skip a whole day.
You know.
Oh, that's what we need to do instead of setting the clocks back or forward.
Skip
we
a
just
day.
need to skip
Whole
a day.
Well, wait, no, because then you lose the day. It'd have to be doubling up on one day.
You're going to lose the day sleeping anyway.
You're not going to. That is not losing the day.
No. That's getting the best
That's
out of the day.
That's squeezing the last precious drop of day milk out of the day.
Yep.
Day milk.
Day milk.
I think it's that's. Am I onto something here?
Yes.
That is
practical.
How you
right
say
there.
the word? How you say the word?
Schleffenhagen.
Schleffenhagen. It's German.
Do it.
What? Don't
I'm
laugh.
not laughing at.
It's German. Don't laugh at the Germans.
I'm
They
going to have
get
to look
pissed.
it up because for some reason I just don't know.
We don't celebrate a lot of German holidays.
No,
I think
we
it's time the
don't.
Germans had their day.
Yes.
And by day, I mean a day of sleep.
Schleffenhagen. Schleffenhagen today. It's not the Tuma.
You get up. What is your Schleftenhagen breakfast going to be? Right? You get this big meal when you wake up.
Yeah, carb heavy. That way you just go into a carb coma.
That's before.
Yeah.
What about like after?
Oh, afterward.
See?
You didn't even
Stop down to IHOP for our post Schleftenhagen breakfast.
You need some protein in there. You need a good sausage.
Right.
You need some good sausage. You need
The Schleftenhagen
sausage.
brunch buffet. Guys, we're making money here too. This is an economic stimulus.
If you don't have our sausage in you, you haven't eaten.
I mean, how much economic stimulus is MLK Day or President's Day driving?
Not much anymore. I mean, it used to be, the hats. You get the funny Washington hat with the ears on it, but no one buys those anymore.
Right. I mean, no one's buying anything. You never bought those?
No.
What are you talking
Sorry for
about?
the odd look.
The
but I don't
Lincoln
know what
Stovetop
Washington
hat.
had.
You didn't
buy
With the
those?
ears on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
he grew
other
up
one.
in Texas, though.
Yeah,
That's
it
probably
was different.
why.
Yeah, it's true. You didn't get the Washington hat with the ears?
No. What are you talking about?
I'm shocked.
And the
seriously
powdered wig?
Oh, I've seen the powdered
But
wig.
it
But
had
what
the
are you talking
ears to
about?
it.
The ears.
Well, you'd wear them in school and...
You had the ears with the powdered wig. I mean, it looked stupid if you just had the powdered wig without the ears.
Right.
It looked like he didn't have ears.
Okay.
That was
Wow. And then
Think you know
all
somebody.
the Schleftenhagen songs
Mm-hmm.
you teach kids in the school. Schleftenhagen, Schleften.
I remember. You know, I was trying to get the melody that the other day, and I'd forgotten.
And
Thank
remember
you.
the part, the middle part of the song where it's count backwards from 100.
Oh yeah, and you only get to like 97.
Right.
90.
Last year, Papa, I made it to 54.
Yes, that's
Great.
it. Yeah, man, those are some.
Let's start celebrating sleep.
I love that idea, and then we get some mattress companies to sponsor it, and we can turn it into a profitable.
Hi,
money
Doc
center.
Thompson for Element Mattress. Get ready for Schleftenhagen. It's coming up sooner than you realize. Only 42 days left until Schleftenhagen.
If you order now, you'll get it a full month beforehand and be able to. It'll fit you like a glove.
Oh, you don't want that arrived like during your... Well, no one would be delivering on that after Schleftenhagen. Order now and still get it in time for Schleftenhagen.
For next year.
We're on to something, damn. I mean, they invented Kwanzaa, for Pete's sake. Why can't I invent a German holiday about sleeping?
I love this one.
A free exchange of ideas. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. At the risk of being a little unpopular with some of you, I'm going to call out the president today. I'm going to openly disagree with something Donald Trump tweeted over the weekend. I'm talking about the tweet that came out early Sunday morning that read, quote, "A real scandal is the one-sided coverage, hour by hour, of networks like NBC and Democrat spin machines like Saturday Night Live. It is all nothing less than unfair news coverage and Dem commercials. Should be tested in courts. Can't be legal. Only defame and belittle. Collusion?" I'm sure a lot of this was triggered by the Saturday Night Live episode that opened mocking the president with a parody of It's a Wonderful Life. But let's just remember what Saturday Night Live's job is. It's to make fun of stuff. And Mr. President, right now, you are the stuff that they will make fun of until you are no longer there. Hopefully, that's another 6 years. So, hands-off comedy, sir. You can just turn it off. That's the option we all have. As far as the news industry goes and the 92% negative coverage of you, that's the price you pay for beating their girl Hillary. Deal with it. But hands off the First Amendment. Hands off the ability to speak your mind and opine. After all, that's what got you elected. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com. All right, communiques now via the social media platforms, MeWe, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah, Saddle Tramp seasoned the cookies. Doc's idea of a world day of napping solid. Rufus, Bill, Roger, whatever his name is correct. We need a throwaway day. Use leap year. It's useless anyway. That's true.
You're right.
They'll just take leap year and reappropriate it. I like that idea. DMXDM. Yep, those turds finally found the special APR coffee. Well, we just seasoned it with crack.
Well, and think of somebody like DM, because this is an economic stimulus too, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you arrive after that, awake after that full day of sleeping, right?
Mm-hmm.
You may feel a little groggy because some of us are going to need some help sleeping for 24 hours, right?
That's true.
Revive yourself with a fresh cup, a hot piping hot cup of APR coffee.
Let's see. What's German for after?
Postenhagen.
Postenhagen Schleppenhagen. It's the Postenhagen Schleppenhagen
Right,
coffee from
exactly.
APR Coffee.
Right.
Oh, we've already named it.
White Sales. Perfect for German holidays.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right. You need new sheets and bedding, right?
And MoJo 50's
I remember Schleftenhagen 2015. Man, that was a good day's sleep.
That really was.
2016 was okay, but man, I remember 2015. That was the year. That was the one. Everything was just perfect.
It was. It was a gray day, so the sun didn't peek through the.
Right,
it was
exactly.
fat. And by the way, MoJo 50's resident Bronuts. Schleppenhagen. You're mispronouncing it. Schleptenhagen that sounds like a German banging Amy Schumer. That's not what we're saying. We're saying Schleptenhagen.
Schleptenhagen.
Yes, it's totally different.
And it doesn't really get it done if it's German unless you Schleptenhagen.
Yeah,
because you got to sound like you're screaming everything when you speak German. I think that's
you
part
have
of
to sound angry, otherwise it doesn't sound German. Just saying.
Miss Universe 2018 we mentioned that it's not the man. It's not a man, but we didn't mention who it is. It's Miss Philippines.
Well, isn't she's not the first Miss Philippines, is she, to make it?
No, they have crushed it out. Like the fifth one.
They're putting something in the food over there.
And I think I'm going to say 3 of the top 5 were Asian.
I think so. I think I did read that.
Miss Philippines, Catriona Gray.
Where did they hold?
By the way, she is not hideous.
Where did they hold the contest?
I think Thailand. Oh,
yeah, wasn't it in Bangkok?
I think it is. Yeah, was.
So they didn't.
Yeah, she is not hideous. There is a little bit, or was a little bit of controversy surrounding. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, I do have Miss Philippines comments when they ask her a question. Are you?
Yep, I'm standing by.
Because it's all about the answer.
Well, it's here. Here's your question. Canada recently joined Uruguay as the second nation in the world to make marijuana legal. What is your opinion on the legalization of marijuana?
Wow, these are the questions.
I'm for it being used in a medical use, but not so for recreational use.
Okay.
All right.
There it is.
You little closeted fascist.
She just put it right down there. That would have been fine. But then...
Because I think if people were to argue, what about alcohol and cigarettes? Well, everything is good, but in moderation.
Honey, sit down. Let's just have a little talk.
See, didn't she like
everything is good? You see, what you said first was it's bad, and then you said everything's good
in moderation.
So you took 2 statements right next to each other that completely
that seemed contradictory.
Very much so. So let's work on that answer again before we go live on TV.
Why do we continue this charade? I mean,
because
we've gotten to the point where we say no, men can be Miss Universe. Okay, fine. Why do we still pretend that we care about what they say?
Right.
You may care like how they speak because that could add to a certain level of attractiveness or not. But this is all about, are they hot? We know that. Let's stop pretending it's not. And by getting rid of the swimsuit issue in Miss America, I think it is Miss USA still, or Miss
Universe
still has it.
Wisely so. It's too. Let's face it. The real reason that they have the questions is to provide comedy fodder. You have to have something the next day.
And to show, and by the way, I don't care at all. If not for the controversy surrounding this, we wouldn't even be talking about it today. But it's nice to know that in our world of globalism,
yes,
that even in other countries where they're learning to speak English, if they're young, they still answer or say everything like it's a question.
I'm for it being used in a medical use, but not so for recreational use, because I think...
So, yes, is that a yes or a no? You do support... I don't know. Do you or don't you? What are you saying there?
If people were to argue, what about alcohol and cigarettes? Well, everything is good, but in moderation.
Okay, so we got that part. Everything's good in moderation. But the other part I'm still very confused by.
So I agree it should be used in a medical use.
Yes. I'm waiting to clap. She just reiterated the question.
Yep.
That's all you did.
And that's the beauty. If she had just stopped there, that would have been fine.
Yeah. So there it is. But that's not the controversy. The controversy was surrounding Miss USA.
Okay.
Did you even hear?
I didn't know. Remember, my power was out. I didn't get to watch anything.
This was actually late last week. This came out. So Miss USA was doing. They do all these little social media hits. All the contestants, you know, they put it all over, and that builds the brand and all this stuff. So they want them to do all that stuff. So Miss USA is there with some of the other contestants, and they're Instagramming and all this stuff. Well, they started talking about Miss Cambodia not speaking English.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do remember this.
And she got nailed for mocking Miss Cambodia for not speaking English. Now, when I saw this, I was like, well, that's pretty ridiculous. Why are you doing that? Of course, I mean, it becomes the stereotypical dumb, arrogant American,
right?
Which I hate. But number two, not everybody's going to, speak English, and that's fine. I don't know why you're being an ass. What would you say about that?
The headline looks more sensational than
what's that?
The headline seems more sensational than the actual occurrence.
She wasn't mocking.
No,
her.
she wasn't.
She wasn't at all. I have the. Did you see the clip?
I didn't. I heard the clip, but she wasn't mocking her.
When I saw the headline, I thought she was like, "Oh, me eat rice. Oh, me love rice." I thought it was like that, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be horrible."
You even did the face.
Me love rice. Me fly plane in building kamikaze.
I thought you'd go for the me so horny.
And me so horny. Okay, no, so that's what I honestly thought the way the headlines were written up. It is not. She was actually saying, I feel bad for this woman that she's the only one who speaks her language in this entire damn building, and she has struggled with English. She does a pretty good job, but she was really empathizing with her.
I thought so too.
And at one point she says, and she even starts off, it seems a little harsh, like, where's she going with this? What she's saying is she doesn't speak English very well. And when she doesn't understand, she just kind of smiles and nods. And
that's what we all do.
Right.
Yeah.
And she even says, oh, she's so cute. She wasn't even pandering, no, I wasn't belittling, like talking down.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, she's so cute, her stupidity. Because she later says, I feel really bad for her. Isn't that the point of what they're supposed to be doing? Cultural outreach here, so you understand and put yourself in the situation of everybody else. She's the only one who speaks her language in the building, and she's trying to navigate these waters. That's incredibly difficult. Yeah. So listen to Miss USA. Here we go.
What do you think about Miss Vietnam Nie? Oh my God. So she's
okay, now these are a couple of women talking at first. A little difficult to understand, but you'll hear that in a second. Here we go.
Oh my God, yes.
Here we go.
And she pretends to know so much English, and then you ask her a question after having a whole conversation with her, and she goes...
And then she smiled and nodded to kind of show what she does or whatever. Here we go.
She's adorable.
She's adorable, and then she did like kind of her head shake again. She doesn't understand. Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong. I didn't see anything wrong with what she said.
That piece right there by itself, with a stretch, you could say, oh, she's like, oh, you're so stupid, adorable little, with a stretch. But even that's not. I mean, you could see they're friends with her.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, and it's three of them. It's not just Miss USA, but okay.
Like Miss Russia and somebody else.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Not American. We don't care.
Yeah.
Or hot Asian chicks. Okay, so a little bit more then where she explains. Here it is.
Miss Cambodia is here and doesn't speak any English, and not a single other person speaks her language. Can you imagine? Like, Francesca said that would be so isolating, and I said yes. I mean, and just confusing all the time. You at least have other, you do speak great English. And you have other Spanish. And Spanish speakers. Brazil doesn't speak English. But there are other women.
So then she talks about her speaking English. But you hear what she said. She said, it must be horrible. Can you imagine what that's like?
Yes.
Isolating. That's pretty damn worldly and sophisticated for these contestants who we rip on for getting these answers. The silly responses to these questions. Their answers are silly. Where she uses the word isolating. Think about that. That is a great point. I haven't thought about that. I'm just trying to figure out if the tranny, if I can see the package there, or stare at the potentially hot women. That's all I'm doing.
Yes.
But because of this, I was like, wow, that must really suck. You're right. Thank you.
Yeah, she was, I thought, trying to be very inclusive and trying to do the right thing.
All the things that they tell us that this is about and you should be, right?
Yes.
Okay. She was forced to apologize.
For what? What did she apologize for?
Perception.
Wow.
Now, you could see, I mean, she's got some of the stereotypical little, younger woman thing, and that's fine, whatever. But her apology, it's sad that she had to, that so many people got triggered by this.
It's stupid.
But she does make a good point. She said, this is an opportunity for women from around the world to learn about each other's cultures, life experiences, and views. In a moment where I intended to admire the courage of a few of my sisters, I said something that I now realize can be perceived as not respectful, and I apologize. My life, friendships, and career revolve around me being compassionate and a compassionate and empathetic woman. I would never intend to hurt another. That's a pretty good statement.
She didn't come up with that on her own. She had a PR person.
Probably.
Do that. But you know what? Good for her. She had the brains to get a PR person to come up with a statement for her. It
can be perceived as not respectful.
And did you notice that it's Miss USA? I mean, come on. They went after Miss USA because she's Miss USA.
Right, exactly. It was more triggering to people because because it represents America.
Right.
So, of course, she's automatically going to be, she's not going to be given a pass.
You are right.
You're talking down, because the world believes that America's arrogant, unless you're from America.
Well, we are, because we're better than most other countries.
That's not arrogant. It's not arrogant if you can do it, is it?
That's true. No, you're right. Yeah.
Come on.
That's a good point.
It may not be nice, but
it's, the truth sometimes hurts. And if we're going to talk about menstruation for men and women, then we need to talk about how painful the truth can be, too.
There it is, right?
And we are very inclusive of all hot chicks.
Thank you. Now, here's the ironic part. Out of all of this, through all of this, they asked Miss Cambodia about it, and she was like,
"No English." Is that what she said?
She said, "No me understand English. No soul brother." Miss Cambodia said, when she knew about, talking about Miss America, and obviously this is via a translator, she said, when she knew about my difficulties with the English language, she took an interest and showed me love. That's why she knows about that. In other words, that's the reason she was even talking about it.
Right.
Thank you, Miss USA, for taking care of me, showing me love, and helping me recently.
Whoa. I'm reading between those lines.
Stop it.
What? I'm just saying. Read that one more time.
No, think about this, though. When she says the only reason this even came up is because she and knew about my difficulties with the English language, because she took an interest and showed me love. That's why she knows about that. Thank you, Miss USA, for taking care of me, showing me love, and helping me recently.
Thank you. I'm just saying that can be taken.
So she's saying she actually put her arm around me and said, hey, because she could have been the outcast the whole time. Nobody even caring that she was there.
Right.
Wow.
But Miss USA showed her some love.
I'm going to have to move on, because
and there's
this is just
nothing wrong with that.
Creepier and creepier with
there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. International love. I think that's a great thing.
This is not going to end well.
I can stand behind it.
If I let this go.
100%.
Maybe get the communiques in via the social media platforms, and we'll share some of those if deemed worthy. If your tweet or communique is deemed worthy by Ron Phillips.
Very good. See?
What are you telling me for? I got it right here. Give me a moment.
See? Well, as long as
we'll
you've got
include you at the show close. We'll wrap it up there. In the meantime, my friend Brad Staggs wants to tell you about the Rich Solution. It is a solution that is rich in all things, including supplements.
I've got to take my adaptogen. Hang on a second. I just take the little dropper here. I put it in my mouth. Oh, that's good. Actually, that was really. You want some? I'm taking my.
What is adaptogen?
My $20, same as downtown. The thing is about these adaptogens, if you look them up, they're berries. They're all of these the different foods. They've taken all of the good That's so good. I feel like a dog licking my chops. They've taken all the good stuff out of this food.
In case you're wondering, you also sound like that.
That's good. You know
I'm
what?
sure there's one guy in Peoria right now going, "Stop
it!" He'll have to get the hell over it. If you want a life that's in balance, if you want to maybe relieve some of that stress that you've been feeling, not that anyone has stress this time of year especially, See how good that tastes?
See, if they're not watching, they think it's you doing it.
But I couldn't be because I'm talking at the same time. This is a proprietary blend of adaptogenic herbs. And who doesn't like a good slathering of herbs in the morning?
At this point in my life, I'll try anything to make it just a little bit better.
If you want balance in your body, if you want calm and well-being, if you want more energy, then I would suggest you try this. I've been doing this, for about a week now? And I swear I'm feeling a difference. I swear I have to stop for a while to see if it goes back the way it was, because that's what I had to do with Relief Factor. But I had the same thing with this. If you would like to try some of this Rich Adapt, go to therichsolution.com. If you click on supplements, you'll see Rich Adapt.
One of many supplements they have.
Oh, they've got a ton. If you're a woman who wants great sex after 50, just go to the Rich Solution and, again, click on supplements.
You can also go to bradstaggs.com for that.
I was going to say, if you just give me a call, I have got some ideas, some suggestions.
If you're also a woman under 50 who would like great sex.
Well, you got to be inclusive of all ages, I really think.
If you're also someone who identifies as a woman over 50 or a woman under 50, Brad Staggs can help you out.
Yeah, well, there's a little investigation that goes with all that. TheRichSolution.com, TheRichSolution.com. That's where you'll find it all, except for, of course, for the communiques, which you'll find on Twitter. Speaking of libertarian, stupid controversies about stupid pageants are stupid.
I'm going to give you that.
Except if you're Miss Spain. Just saying. Miss Spain.
This is the transgender thing is so frustrating. It's like I was going to say, it's like gay marriage. It's like so many things where they identify what is a small problem. And I don't mean to be insulting to people who are gay by saying it's a small problem, or people that are transgender. By small, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you were to prioritize the world's problems, you not being able to get married if you're gay, or not be able to be in Miss Universe pageant if you were born a man, to use their terms, is really relatively low on the scale of priorities, simply because we're talking about such a small segment of society.
Yes. Right? A very vocal segment, but a small segment.
Small. I mean, you're talking about a very... It's not to say you are lesser, it's prioritizing. Hey, the world needs to stop and pay more attention to everybody from Ashtabula, Ohio, because you know what? It's a small area, and, if you put you're from New York, that's going to be more impressive than saying you're from Ashtabula, so I'm not going to get the... It's a small... It's not that they're not important. Okay, they're not important. It's not that they're not important. It's not the Tuma. It's not a priority. It's, first of all, safety and security and all these other things. Now, if we get to the point of saying, or you say, okay, we've got to pay more attention to it, gay marriage and transgenders and Miss Universe, when we get to that point to discuss it, why must we go from a position of, hey, we got a problem here, let's try to come up with a workaround, and then move on. Instead, the pendulum has to swing the other way with such great force that it pisses everybody else off and does a disservice to the people that were initially needing help. For example, if you were gay or are gay and you grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and you realized there were certain stigmas attached to you, certain things you couldn't do, and true, I guess, oppression from a standpoint of people looking at you as second-class citizens. There were biases that may have negatively impacted you. Okay, I got it. That's horrible. So let's see what we can do. Let's try to figure some things out.
Yes.
But instead, they pushed so hard for gay marriage.
Yes.
Instead of saying, guys, why is the government telling any of us can get married?
Right.
Years ago, the government was keeping you down, gay people, by telling you could not get married. So what did you do? Fought so the government could still have that much power over you. Remember, the government that granted you the permission to legally get married is the government that can take it away. So instead of standing with me, Doc Thompson and Bradley J. Staggs and other libertarians to say, no government, That shouldn't be in the purview of your responsibility or rights to tell me I can get married. And you conservatives out there, religious conservatives that say, it's a man, a woman, and God, it's covenant. Great. Then that's your church. You don't need the government to say yay or nay, get out of our lives. And the same thing with the transgenders here. Whatever the reason, I think it's more of a mental condition. And that's not to say you're crazy, you need to be in an asylum, and that's not to be insulting. I'm saying your body and your mind are out of whack by how you say, according to what you say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would your perfectly functioning body, by all accounts, be the thing that needs drastically changed with surgery and not your mind? Which seems more likely? Which is more logical here? Our mind controls all this. You know what hypochondriacs are, for example. Hypochondriac, if you believe you have a pain, damn it, you have a pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, by the way, hypochondriacs are people that get physical pain because of something in their head, you know.
Yes.
Stress, for example, right?
Yep.
It's real. It's just as real. But they are very triggered and insulted because they think you're saying it's not real. No, it's just as real. It's just a different disease or affliction than something physical. But that's my opinion about it. If you're telling me, Doc, you don't understand, it is my body. I would ask you to reevaluate that, and maybe there is no solution from the mental side. Maybe that's true. Maybe there's nothing you could do. The only solution physically, fine, and you can do that. I shouldn't have to pay for it.
Right.
And you shouldn't force us into believing something that is not true. Boys do not menstruate. And by the way, trying to do this right.
Careful.
When you go through those procedures, you will likely not menstruate either.
However, what you will have to do is the painful monthly vaginal maintenance. Which,
so let's say you were somebody born a boy. Okay.
Okay.
And you believe you're transgender, you're a woman, a girl. So you begin to transition. You're not going to menstruate. It's not going to happen.
No, because you don't have the parts that do that.
And they don't add those parts, by the way. So
they don't.
It's not going to happen.
No, but as a male to female transgender, you could still get prostate cancer.
Yes. So. Now, if you're transitioning the other way, so you are a woman who believes you're a man,
right,
and therefore you're menstruating. If you go through those final steps, you're not going to menstruate anymore. Do you realize how insane this is? That's even true. Within the transgender community, even within that, this very, very small group of people, regardless of all the stories you hear, so you think it's like everybody out there is transgender, it is less than 1%. Even within that community, a very small portion of a portion of them are boys. Picture me making the air quotes that menstruate. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm still trying to line all this stuff up in my head because the reason there is menstruation is because of the female body and the childbearing and
and finally,
none of it adds up.
No, and finally, no matter what you do, who you are, how hard you try, no matter what rules you pass, people will know that some of this is crap. And number two, you cannot legislate or manipulate everybody's opinion into accepting and liking one another. There could be real reasons people don't like one another. There could be ignorances that lead to people not liking one another. Sometimes people are just jackasses. Trust me, I've met a few of them in the industry.
What? Stop it.
Well, I've met a lot of them.
Stop
Some big
it.
ones. Anyway, sometimes people are just not going to like one another. So maybe the solution is actually, if you're transgender, guys, that's one of your crosses to bear. I've got them. We've all got crosses to bear, things that are really bad in our lives, that are struggles.
You ought to try being me for a day.
Right. Everybody thinks theirs is the worst. And, I guess if we could all live in each other's shoes and have full awareness of what every situation is like, we may as a society go, okay, Carl really does have it the worst. Right?
Yeah.
But until we do, we know we all have crosses to bear, and our perception of our problems are that they are the worst because we're living them. So number one, we all have crosses to bear. Transgender, that's just how it is. Number two, be who you are. Stop worrying about other people. You may be kept down at times. I'm sorry. If you're not transgender, maybe recognize that these people, they're having some troubles here. Doesn't matter if you like it. It doesn't matter if you want it. It doesn't matter if you think they're crazy. As long as you're not paying for it and they're not teaching inane things or insane things like boys menstruate, maybe take a pause and say, that must be really difficult to be them.
Have some empathy.
Empathy and move on. These are the keys to a functioning society without us discussing the stupidity of teaching something that is factually inaccurate from the people who claim that they're about science.
Right.
Stop it.
Taints are sleeving up, I think, put it best. I don't know about you guys, but I'll take the Asian hottie who doesn't speak my language over a chick with a dick any day. Technically, Miss Spain was not a chick with a...
We don't know.
It didn't appear. In the pictures, it does not appear.
Prince Albert.
Possibly, but I don't know. I see it more in the face.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, Miss Spain looks like a dude.
Yeah, but I mean, there are chicks that have more masculine... You're also looking for it. You are looking for it. If she walked in...
Who told you that? I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't willing to pay anything for it. Shut your mouth. We told you not to say it.
No, I mean, you knew she was transitioning, so therefore you were trying to see if she looked like a dude.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
If she or other trannies walked in and you didn't know...
I don't think you can call them that.
What are you talking about? That's what they are.
Trannies? I think that's...
what do you call them?
That's the T word.
The what?
You can't call them
It's in the LGBT.
You can't... No,
lesbian, gay, bisexual, tranny.
Transsexual. You can't call them tranny. Ron, can you call them tranny?
I can't say lesbo or dykes.
I mean, those are kind of dicey. Though you were right on the fence with those. But trannies...
Why is this so triggering?
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to say...
I'm not the one that said you were tranny. You said you were tranny.
I'm looking out for your career. That's all I'm doing.
This is just... Okay, you know what? Let's reset.
Okay.
I'm going to get a quick break in. Back with more, including your headlines today on your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The White House is not backing down on its demand for $5 billion to build a border wall, even with the threat of a government shutdown looming in the background.
If it comes to it, absolutely. This is a very fundamental issue. At stake is the question of whether or not the United States remains a sovereign country, whether or not we can establish and enforce rules for entrance into our country.
Presidential advisor Stephen Miller appearing on CBS's Face the Nation yesterday. President Trump's lawyers categorically ruling out a presidential interview with a special counsel. More on that from correspondent Sagar Magani.
The president has said he's willing to talk with Bob Mueller.
Over my dead body, but, I could be dead.
Rudy Giuliani on Fox News Sunday as both he and the president unloaded on Mueller's probe. Among other things, they're accusing Mueller's investigators of strong-arming Trump associates into guilty pleas, including former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen, whom the president yesterday called a rat. Mueller's team could theoretically try to subpoena the president if he officially refuses an interview. The Supreme Court has never directly said whether a president can be subpoenaed for testimony in a criminal probe. Sagar Magani, Washington.
President Trump says he expects the U.S. Supreme Court to uphold a federal judge's ruling last week that Obamacare is unconstitutional.
Let's say repeal and replace, handled a little bit differently, but it was a big, big victory by a highly respected judge. Highly, highly respected in Texas.
In London, Prime Minister Theresa May is set to condemn calls for a second referendum on Britain's departure from the European Union. She says it would do irreparable damage to trust in democracy since voters already approved the Brexit. In remarks released ahead of her speech to the House of Commons, May says that staging a second referendum would be pointless and would betray the trust of voters. On Wall Street, Dow futures right now up 47 points. NASDAQ futures up by about 6. More of these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DOC, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out wethepeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out wethepeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. Wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is Tim Barton from Wall Builders with another moment from American history. American patriot Paul Revere rode to alert Americans of the impending arrival of the British, but he also sought patriot leaders Samuel Adams and John Hancock to warn them that the British were seeking their execution. Adams and Hancock were staying with the Reverend Jonas Clark in Lexington. When they asked Pastor Clark if his church was ready for the approaching British, he replied, "I've trained them for this very hour. They will fight, and if need be, die under the shadow of the house of God." Later that morning, 70 men from his church faced several hundred British in the first battle of the War for Independence. As Pastor Clark affirmed, the militia that morning were the same who filled the pews of the church meeting house on the Sunday morning before. The American church was regularly at the forefront of the fight for liberty. For more information on this pastor and other colonial patriots, go to wallbuilders.com.
Has landed. You know, folks, it's the Christmas season that brings out the best in people. This morning, my friend, Bradley J. Staggs, gave me some Muddy Buddies. And I brought him some Cracker Nuts.
See? That's the basis of a loving friendship.
I didn't know that he would offer Muddy Buddy this morning. I didn't know that. And he didn't know I would offer Cracker Nuts.
I didn't.
We did it selflessly, and they were like, oh, look at that.
It was very sweet.
And then...
Ron,
I got it right here. Give me a second.
Okay.
Ron, now darn it, I got to look at the bottom.
Phillips.
I should wait a second. Phillips got to enjoy both Muddy Buddies and Cracker Nuts
I've never
today.
had a Cracker Nut before. That's pretty cool. It's
They're
like
pretty
a
good.
nut wrapped in a cracker.
I would say more cookie than cracker because they're kind of sweet, like a sweet cracker.
Except those spicy ones.
The spicy ones are...
But they're not
or
really
as I call
spicy.
them, the Mexican ones.
I think this is a Thai food. It's a Thai snack. And they take peanuts and they wrap it in like a little cookie crunchy type thing.
Do they like eating nuts in Thailand?
I think so.
Wow. I mean, these are Nagaraya? Not going
to work here anymore.
See, I know what you're saying. No trans fats and no cholesterol, but they're garlic. And they're mighty tasty.
Is that a cookie thing or a crackery thing?
That's more of a... See,
because they're kind of sweet. Or is it the peanuts that's sweet?
It could be that, too.
The peanuts might be sweet.
I don't know. That could be a crackery thing.
You like the hot and spicy or the garlic?
I like the garlic. I think I prefer Italian nuts. I think I'm learning that as I get older. I have an affinity for Italian nuts.
Brad likes it when I go to the Asian market.
I love it when he brings me back some Asians.
That garlic's pretty powerful.
I know, it's good for you.
Now, these are not the original Cracker Nuts.
No.
You
can't get those anymore.
You can get them. There's an original flavor, and then I can't remember what the fourth flavor is, but I got the garlic and the hot and spicy for you to try.
Well, I think they're fabulous. And I hope you enjoyed the good, delicious Muddy Buddy.
Who doesn't like a good Muddy Buddy?
I know.
By the way, I got some other Asian snacks, too.
Oh, good.
That sounded bad.
Can't wait to...
I went to the Asian market and got some other treats. Isn't working either.
Huh?
Products. That's better.
Yeah.
Products for you to sample.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, I think we need to videotape Doc one day eating the ramen that he eats. That is like...
Oh, my gosh.
The sun.
Hold on, what?
This is the hottest crap you will ever eat.
Okay.
No,
I watched him eat it one day, and then the dude started sweating. It was crazy.
Oh my! It is so friggin' hot. There's this one type of ramen I get from the Korean market. Oh my gosh, it is so friggin' hot.
Do you know they might have one that's not quite as hot that wouldn't be as...
I know, but I don't...
Oh, yeah, but that doesn't bust a cold.
No, I got to get that stuff running there, and I'm like, this is horrible.
Okay.
Like, I like...
Whatever it takes.
It will cure what ails.
Oh, my gosh, it is so friggin'... Afterwards, I got to... It's like that.
Makes you drink more water, too.
Horrible, horrible. What we need to do is make a video. We need to go down to the Korean market, and I'll walk you through.
And we can guess what's in the packaging.
Yes, because I know some of the stuff, some I don't know.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
I would do that.
It's pretty cool. It's like, don't try those. Those aren't that good. Try this. Yeah.
That's like walking through a 7-Eleven in Hawaii.
Yeah,
There's got some weird stuff in the Hawaiian 7-Elevens.
And I can point out stuff like banana uyu, and that's good stuff.
I had that once.
Do they sell Spam musubis in the 7-Eleven?
Spam musubis?
Oh, come on.
What's a musubi?
$20, same as downtown.
Doc talked about them on his Spoonie show about 2 weeks ago. Spam musubi.
No, he doesn't listen to it.
It's like rice and Spam.
Yeah.
Rice and Spam mixed together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's not...
Who would have thought of that one?
Make a little sandwich out of it.
That's so rare in the
pretty cool. That's a Hawaiian
Spam
thing.
is good. Spam is big in Hawaii.
So we should do that. But
All right.
banana uyu, I think I may have a banana uyu here for you.
I bet you do.
I do.
I'll bet you do.
It's really for kids. But
but
I love banana uyu.
Strange.
I love it.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
And these headlines are brought to you by TarRiverArms.com. Need a gun? That's where you get it. TarRiverArms.com.
I thought it was TarRiverGuns.com now.
No. Who said that?
Didn't we get an email that it's TarRiverGuns.com now?
I will check on that for you.
All right.
Okay. Is it really?
I just said
He
it.
has a new
in the
logo.
break.
The logo is badass. I like the
I
logo.
just said it to you during the break, and you mocked it.
I did, of course, because that's what I usually say back to anything that you say during the break. There is no TarRiverGuns.com. You can't get to that site from here. It's River.
Didn't I see an email on that?
Oh, good grief. Did not somebody have an intervention with him
hallucinate again?
and his alcohol? You know, you really have to stop drinking like that on the weekend.
It was a rough weekend.
Tar River.
I may have made the whole thing. For now, go to TarRiverArms.com just in case. I'm not joking. I thought I got an email about that.
Why would he change the name in the middle of...
That's what I thought, but I figured, what the hell? It's his business. He can do what he wants.
I think Ron is looking it up even as we speak.
Well, let's just move on.
But I can tell you right now.
Right. It is TRAGuns.com. That's the new website. TRAGuns.com.
TRA Guns.
It is still Tar River Arms, though. New logo, but TRAGuns.com.
Wow, this shouldn't be terribly confusing to anyone listening now. All right, so it's brought to you by TRAGuns.com.
But you still say Tar River Arms. You don't say TRA. You don't say brought to you by TRAGuns.com. You say TarRiverArms.com.
Hence the TRA,
right? At TRAGuns.com. That's how you'd position it. You understand?
No,
okay.
I really don't. So
when you do the commercial, you say it's brought to you by Tar River Arms at TRAGuns.com.
What was wrong with TarRiverArms.com to begin with?
You don't know a thing about guns or marketing,
Apparently
obviously.
I don't. That's
They have really good deals there.
People
That's
kept
all you
trying
need
to
to know.
go there
You'll
looking
love
for legs. They didn't have them.
Right, exactly. I want a longer pair for my mannequin. Oh, it's guns. Savage, Neanderthal. They have great deals on guns. And they have revolutionized the way you purchase guns online with their virtual gun store.
And if you can find them online at TarRiverArms.com or...
What the hell is Matlock doing? He's texting me now.
What did he say?
He's giving us the update of TRAGuns.com. But here's the funny thing. If he's hearing it, it's delayed by like 60 seconds.
At least 60.
At least 60.
Is it TarRiverArms.com or TRAGuns.com?
It's TRAGuns.com.
But it's still Tar River Arms.
Yes, but Matlock is giving me the update well after we've already gotten it, but he doesn't know that because it's whatever.
Wow. Man. If you want a gun, good luck finding it this morning. In the meantime,
are there headlines today?
There might be. We have no idea who they're brought to you by, but you'll figure it out. A man was found dead in a car that burst into flames in the Buffalo Wild Wings parking lot.
Wow, that's hot.
I'm telling you.
Hot wings.
Those are really, he must have had some of those hot and spicy nuts.
Insensitive or not, I'm putting that on my commercial.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's because that's what everyone's thinking when they see it.
Did you say somebody died or
Oh,
got
yeah,
hurt?
he's dead.
Yeah,
so you're not pissing him off. He's dead.
Yeah, that could seem insensitive. Here's what I do. I simply light a car on fire in the future where nobody dies, and then I go, them are hot wings.
There you go.
Done.
Authorities do not know who the man was, by the way. They're still investigating, so if you're missing somebody, call them. In the meantime...
missing somebody. Okay.
Well, it's true.
And where was that, Buffalo?
It was in New Jersey. No, Buffalo Wild Wings in New Jersey.
How do you have Buffalo Wild Wings in New Jersey? It's Buffalo.
Yes, but this is the BWW. Not to be confused with a BBW. Don't Google that.
Wait, what is...
Matt calls them B-dubs.
Yeah, B-dubs. Didn't that what they used to be called, or were going to be called?
No, they were BW3.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And so you got the B is in Buffalo, and Wild Wings, that's 2 W's.
Right.
What's the third W?
Oh, wow, Wings and...
Weck.
What? Weck.
Weck.
Okay. What's Weck? Never mind.
Give the audience time to scream 20 bucks, same as downtown, and go.
What is Weck?
Let's just move on.
Okay. Do you know what a BB... Have you ever tried a BBW?
No.
BBC?
Once, but I was really young. Let's just move on.
Jackholes, you're welcome. New Jersey resident was charged with enslaving women for more than 9 years and forcing her to marry.
So one woman, 9 years?
One
That
woman.
seems excessive.
It gets stranger.
Here's the problem. They're just 9 years older then.
Right. Exactly. Why wouldn't you just
Trade
marry
them in?
It was in...
No, I'm saying, you enslave... It's wrong to enslave. But if you are going to enslave a woman, you enslave them for a couple of years, and you trade them in.
I would think so.
Yeah.
This happened in Secaucus, by the way.
Secaucus?
The person was arraigned on charges of holding a Sri Lankan national against her will for years and forcing that victim to work without pay as a domestic servant. Alia Ahmad Falah Humanity.
Is that the enslaver or the enslavee?
The enslaver. Is 43 years old, was indicted this month on charges of forced labor, alien harboring, and marriage fraud. She was arraigned today before the U.S. District Court in Camden. So you see, it was a woman holding another woman hostage. Nice. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, I didn't.
And then forced her to get married, which is
To
a good,
her?
Yes, it's a good thing they were in New Jersey, huh?
No, it's a woman. It's a gay Sri Lankan who enslaved another woman.
You think your life is complicated? You try living her life.
Yeah, trannies. You got it pretty good, don't you?
You can't call them trannies.
I just did. What do you mean I can't? They're physically just did.
Transsexuals, transgenders.
All I know is they have it pretty
crap!
good,
Which
bud.
one of them is bad? Is transsexual or transgender bad? Damn it!
That's why
the rules change. They're fluid.
Just stick with tranny.
Gender fluid is tough. It really is. Police in Ozaki County.
Where is Sri Lanka located?
It's on the island of Sri Lanka.
Whereabouts in the world?
It's in the middle of the ocean.
Speaking?
It'd be in the Indian Ocean, I believe.
Like, what's it close to?
That other place. The big land mass. That's
You were really close with the Indian Ocean. Just busted out there.
Sri Lanka is off the coast of Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Police in Ozaki County need your help identifying a man wearing a Santa hat, stuffing bacon in his pants and beer in his jacket at a Quick Trip gas station.
So just to clarify, that's a problem.
Apparently so, at least in Ozaki County. The Saukville Police Department said that it happened about 4:30 over the weekend. A man picked up several bottles of beer from the gas station on Green Bay Avenue, concealed them in his jacket, then took several pounds of bacon and shoved them in his pants.
You know what happened here.
What?
He went there for the beer and then said, bacon.
And he honestly had no room left in his jacket because it was full of beer.
Oh, you know what I got, though?
I got
my pants.
I got my pants.
Right.
Who doesn't want some bacon in their pants?
Pants baconed or no bacon?
Oh,
I mean, I would rather have bacon that's not been in somebody's pants. But
How do
no
you-
bacon
whoa, whoa,
or
whoa.
pants bacon.
Let's say that the bacon...
A man's pants.
So no Miss Spain? What if it had been a Miss Spain's pants?
Versus no bacon?
Right.
I'm taking tranny pants over
Tranny pants bacon.
Okay. No bacon is the worst, right? So that's at the bottom. And just above it is man pants bacon.
Right. What about?
I think I'm taking tranny pants because she may have had the.
Does it?
And then just above that is tranny post-op bacon, right?
Yeah.
Just below that is the same as man pants bacon. Okay.
Does it change if it's tranny pants sausage?
I think it's all the same.
Is it at that point? You're at the
And
bottom.
I would rather have pants bacon at this point in my life than pants sausage.
You
That's
do
just who I
reach an
am.
age where you.
When I was younger, I preferred the sausage, but now bacon is just it was always close, but now bacon tops sausage. I mean, I love sausage. Don't get me wrong, love it, but bacon is in a class by itself.
You ever had your sausage wrapped with bacon?
I don't think I have.
Oh, that is unbelievable. Ron has. Didn't you have some over the weekend?
I didn't have any sausage wrapped with bacon.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was you. Maybe it wasn't you. Who
Wasn't
did
me.
send me that picture then? Huh. A boy in Wilmington, Delaware has dropped his name over bullying at his school.
What's his name?
Student at Delaware School will be going by a different name in class after relentless bullying. Situation had parents reaching out to Action
What's
News.
his
for help.
name? Hitler? Because I remember.
No, this was in the Brandywine School District. The problem, they say, the 11-year-old is having, and his name is Joshua Trump. He's being picked on because of his last name.
Which is?
Trump. He's being picked on because his name is Trump.
So he's changing it now?
Apparently he's changing it.
He's changing it to Pelosi, so things are going to get much better for him there.
Well, again, they have a quote from his father. He was getting ridiculed and bullied for the fact that his last name was Trump, said his father, Bobby Berto.
Dad, I want to switch to your name because I'm tired of being bullied.
It's the world in which we live.
Again, we all have our crosses to bear.
Yes, exactly.
I'll tell you what, I would own this if I was that kid. I would learn a lesson from Donald Trump.
Yes.
About go big and
yes.
If he had confidence, if he walked in with this and was like, please, people, and just cast them aside, they would be following him around like puppy dogs.
And start wearing shirts that say Trump on it, because you know that would freak out the school administration.
Oh, it would go crazy. Yep.
I
would just own it. And Donald's missing an opportunity here.
He should hook up with this kid somehow.
Yep.
Yes. That's a good idea. Where are they? They are in Wilmington, Delaware. Just in
If
case
it stays in the news, we're going to see a Trump tweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He should. Listen, kid, I understand what it's like. I have that name too, but look at what I've done with it. Put it on everything.
A man who posted girlfriend revenge porn has been sentenced to 6 years in prison.
He what?
He posted girlfriend revenge. Are you not familiar with revenge porn?
I am. I was just trying to fully understand the players involved here.
Yeah, he posted revenge porn of his ex. He's been sentenced to 71 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. He, in Sioux Falls... yes, exactly. It sounds exhausting to me, but hey, whatever. On the Sioux Falls Craigslist page, he included his partner's name, employment location, cell phone number, and also nude photos of her, claiming that she wanted to have sex and requested photos from interested men. Let's just say she got a few.
Where are they from?
Sioux Falls. This is big news in Sioux Falls.
California. Love the...
This would be Sioux Falls... Is it South Dakota or North Dakota?
You should have just gone big with it.
Who cares?
South Dakota.
It could be North Dakota.
My jokes aren't as funny if you're not getting the other side of it there. I'm just saying.
You got to warn me about these things, is all I'm saying.
My mistake was assuming you knew basic geography. I gotcha.
Really? Look at me. Do I look like I would know? Who the hell knows where South Dakota is anyway? What's right above it?
North Dakota.
Oh, sure. Yeah, somebody like you knows that.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Where's Sheboygan?
Where's Sheboygan?
I gotta do city.
Hold on a minute.
Identify the state with Brad
See,
Staggs.
I'm going down. You've got me going down one path, and now I'm still stuck on Tar River Arms.
Michigan.
No, it's not.
Sheboygan's in Michigan.
No, it's not. It's in Wisconsin.
It's in Michigan.
It is in Wisconsin.
There's probably both.
And same with Sioux Falls. There's a Sioux Falls, North Dakota, too. You ever been there?
There may be, but I mean, when you say the Sioux Falls.
I didn't say the Sioux Falls. I just said Sioux Falls.
Yeah, but if you say just Sioux Falls, it's like saying Cleveland. Yes, there's a Cleveland, Tennessee, but unless you're in that area, Cleveland, the default is Cleveland, Ohio.
There's a Paris, Tennessee, too. You ever been there?
There's a Paris. There's a Paris, Texas, and a Paris, Virginia. But if I say Paris, the default is Paris,
Italy. Everybody knows
France.
that.
It'd be France.
Paris isn't in France.
Maybe
it's
get
in
the
Italy.
commercial and we finish up the headlines.
Good
today.
idea. Tar River Arms is the place to.
I already did that one.
Oh, that's true. We did. But you didn't tell me who the second one was, so I have no idea no way of knowing. You know what? I feel something drawing me. I feel an unseen force drawing me to a website, and that website is charitymagnets.com.
No. That
is charitymagnets.com. Did they change their damn website too?
It's now cmposters.com.
Forkids.com. Jeez. CharityMagnets.com is where you can go to find not only magnets, but magnets that will benefit a charity. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And here's Doc Thompson to tell you more.
It's charitymagnets.com. Back to you, Brad.
I recommend getting the one that goes on your license plate frame, by the way. Which, by the way, isn't a magnet after all. It's it's a piece of metal that looks like a badge that actually bolts onto your license plate, but you'll find it at charitymagnets.com.
Right. They're not all magnets, but they all do benefit the charity of Cops for Kids with Cancer.
Which they were going to go for the original name of Charity Magnets and other stuff that you could put on your car and around your house that benefits kidswithcancer.com, but that just seemed like so many words. So they cut it down. CharityMagnets.com. You need a magnet for charity? That's where you'll find it.
That is the worst commercial you have ever done. And that's really saying something.
That is one of the best. I think that people will remember that.
Sorry, charitymagnets.com.
It is, today is the 17th already. Holy crap. There are only 7 days until Christmas. There are 7 days until Christmas. There are 7. Tonight at midnight, if you go forward 7 days, what's happening?
December 24th.
Right, but tonight at midnight, there will only be 7 days.
11:59
Still 8
tonight.
days.
No. Nope. You guys need to go back to school. Trust
Normally,
me.
I think that Ron Phillips is an idiot, but I think he got it right today.
Wow.
Yeah, I stand
You think
with him.
you know somebody. 14 days until the year 2019.
15.
14 days. It's National Maple Syrup Day. Did you know that?
Yeah, it is.
I've got a story about maple syrup coming up just in time for National Maple Syrup Day.
See? See how all this stuff works out?
Gentlemen, you need to hear this story. We'll get to it in a minute.
Does it involve females?
Yes.
Oh, then I'm in. In 1903, the first one of these flew.
What year?
1903.
That would be Airplane. The Wright brothers. 1903, Kitty Hawk.
Why are you making it so complicated?
Where's Kitty Hawk, Brad?
Everybody knows Kitty Hawk's in Georgia. 79.
North Carolina.
There's one there, too?
Second in flight.
The first in flight was in Georgia.
Ohio.
Exactly.
Yes, technically the first flight was in North Carolina, but Ohio's the birthplace of aviation, so let's just move on.
In 1979, it was stuntman Stan Barrett who broke the sound barrier on land.
Oh, out on the Salt Flats?
Yeah, in, I think it was Edwards Air Force Base out in California.
Who was the first man to break it via airplane?
Oh, Yeager.
Who?
Yeager. Wasn't it Chuck Yeager? Yeah. Hold on a minute.
But then he questioned it.
Wait just a minute.
Yes, it was Chuck Yeager, son, West Virginia boy, and I believe the Charleston Airport's named after him.
In the X-1.
That's right, yep. And Chuck, wasn't it Chuck Yeager that some guy questioning whether or not they landed on the moon, and he was in a reception line, and Chuck Yeager just went off and punched the guy in the face?
I don't recall that. I know he's not going to get caught out in the woods. Not as long as he has AC Delco.
There you go. See, he's still alive, isn't he?
I don't know.
I don't either. Pope Francis is 81 today, and Lori Holden is 48. Marina Hokulani is 17. Can't believe that. She doesn't look a day over 16. And our water cooler fact of the day. I've changed it from weird fact to water cooler fact, because you'll talk about this later. The original intent of a handshake, to make sure that the person you were shaking, they didn't have a weapon, that they had not been to tarriverarms.com or TRE.
I don't believe it.
Guns not MoJo.com. Yeah, and by shaking their hand.
What year? What era?
Way back when?
I mean, like thousands of years or hundreds of?
Yeah, a lot. More than 10.
Here's the thing. If they have a weapon and you shake their hand to determine if they have a weapon, it's a little late.
There is that.
Am I right?
Yeah, but Brad, you said grabbing the hand was one
They
thing.
showed you they had no weapon in their hand, and shaking their hand shook anything out of their sleeve.
You realize there's another hand. Well, thank you. Look, his right hand has no... left hand. Damn it.
They're still working on that one.
It's the two-handed top handshake. Yay.
They're still perfecting the entire system. That's all I can say.
Not a stupid.
Dateline Clanton, Alabama, not the other one. An 89-year-old woman has been jailed over a messy appliance store.
Did she mess it up, or it's her store?
No, it's her store. Odine Kleckler is 89 years old. She says she's been doing her best to run her husband's used appliance store since he died a decade ago, and that landed her in jail.
Because it's dirty?
She disobeyed a court order to clean up Kleckler's appliance and parts, which is surrounded by hundreds of old stoves, refrigerators, washers, and dryers along a main
it's
road.
Outside. Gotcha.
It's outside. She said, I appreciate them, but I've got a guy here who knows what to throw away and what to keep. I side with her on this. How the hell do you know that you're not throwing away good money? It's a used appliance store. We've gotten so used to just throwing everything away. This woman is trying to save the planet, and they don't appreciate it.
How old is she?
89 years old. God bless her. She's trying to help save the planet, and they throw her in jail. Where are the lefty greenists when you need them?
That's it. Honestly, you're right. I mean, I understand if you're saying it's not safe, that it's not clean or whatever,
They're
something like that. That's fine.
It looks bad, and I think that's wrong. That we go on things so superficial as looks in this world now.
Keep going. You're really making a case for your future. I understand what that was about. I got it. Okay.
Those are your headlines brought to you by somebody.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of mojo. MoJo 50.
Politics in Arizona these days seems to be anything but politics as usual. Let me explain. For many, Senator John McCain was a war hero. For others, he will always be remembered as the congressman who came in at the last minute and gave a vigorous thumbs down on repealing Obamacare. For more than 30 years, McCain served as a U.S. Senator in Arizona. When he died recently, he was replaced by Senator John Kyle, who has indicated that he will be retiring at the end of the year. Speculation immediately arose that Republican Governor Doug Ducey might consider the obvious choice, Martha McSally, to replace Kyle. McSally recently lost her Senate bid to Democrat Kyrsten Sinema during the 2018 midterm election, but not so fast. It seems that the first family of Arizona may be speaking out against her. Over the weekend, Meghan McCain, daughter of Senator John McCain and a host of The View, retweeted a tweet by her husband which said, McSally strikes me as an unwise choice for a number of reasons. She's like an NFL team that plays down to its opponent's level, and she'll be tasked with running for re-election immediately. It's obvious from the tweet that the family wants to impact the governor's decision. Those in the know claim that if the McCains are against McSally, then her chances of being appointed to the interim position are slim. Perhaps in a move to improve her chances, McSally recently visited the royal family of Arizona, kissed their ring, and apologized to McCain's widow for not using her husband's name at the president's signing of the John S. McCain National Defense Authorization Act. Why should the McCain family continue to try and control the outcome of who is appointed to the Senate seat? It's one thing to give an opinion, it's quite another thing to act like a monarchy. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Hey, it's Brad Staggs with big news. MoJo 50 is coming to you and to your town. It's all part of our way of helping the veterans in this country. The MoJo 50/50 tour is 50 states in 50 days, and we're traveling across the country in a bus. I don't know what could go wrong. If you go to MoJo5050tour.com, you can find all the details, including to tentative stops and how you can be a sponsor. MoJo 50/50 tour, MoJo5050tour.com.
All right, communiques coming in before we move on and get some of the other happenings and going-ons today.
And thank you to Gare Bear. I'm technically right about the handshake thing. That's also where that was left-handed came from. If during a handshake they attacked you with their other hand, it's also partially the root source of sinister.
Why are you believing them?
I'm believing them because they obviously know what they're talking about.
They simply said, then you're just going to believe them. There's
yes.
No.
Why would the Gare Bear lie? There's no reason for the Gare Bear to lie.
Prove they did lie.
How is it not racist?
Okay.
Season greeting duck.
You could just say, I'm going to read theirs because they agreed with me and not read one that disagreed with you.
Wow, that is such a pessimistic view of life. No wonder no one likes you. Season's greeting duck. General Chuck Yeager is still around and active on Twitter.
Oh, really?
He's a bad dude.
Chuck Yeager's legit,
Punch you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And John said a handshake was the first metal detector, and it was. You're welcome. So there.
What about rocks? I feel like rocks were going to be a pretty go-to weapon back in the day, or something made of rock.
Well, if you attached a stick to a rock, you had a hammer. It could be a tool or a blunt object.
Okay.
Either way, it worked. And you want more? Or you got
no,
something?
that's it. I'm ready to go if you're ready to just move on.
Yeah, let's just do that.
So late last week, a judge struck down Obamacare and said it is unconstitutional. It's a federal judge. Now, did you see the details on it?
I didn't see. I heard this happen, but I didn't see the details.
The district judge, Reed O'Connor. Now, he based his ruling on the fact that Republicans repealed the tax penalty portion of it.
Okay.
So let's go way, way back.
Right.
Get in the time machine, the Wayback Machine, my boy Sherman. What happened during the Obamacare ruling at the Supreme Court when it was challenged? They said it was constitutional because it's a tax.
Right.
Which it is not a tax.
Right. It turned out to be a penalty, didn't it?
Well, they still said it was, and therefore it was constitutional. It was forcing you to take part in commerce or be taxed.
That sounds hot.
It's not if you took place in commerce and we attached a tax to it. And there was the fail. Justice John Roberts knew at the time and still knows it's not. I don't know how they got to him, but they got to him. Or John Roberts did something that occasionally people do in government, whether it's Supreme Court or I guess the other branches of government as well, where they say, wow, this is a big issue. And I know it's not right, but it would do so much good and it sets the future. Yeah. So I'm serious. They do that at times.
Yeah.
We have to whether it's
right for the people in this case.
Right, exactly. How much good it'll do. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, if I vote the right way, based on principle and values, yes, some people may suffer or will not get relief as it's described or whatever. Right. But in the long run, it is the best outcome, the greater good, and also constitutional or not. Mm-hmm. The Supreme Court has done this over the years a lot, where they say, I know, but I got to vote this way. So it may be because of that John Roberts said it was constitutional and voted that way, but it absolutely is under the spirit of the Constitution as well as the letter of the Constitution, not constitutional to say the government has the ability to force you to take part in commerce or tax you if you do not.
But why follow the Constitution?
Now,
that's so old-fashioned.
As they argued this to the Supreme Court, the very people that pushed it and said, it's not a tax.
It's not the tax.
It's not the tax. That's what they kept telling us. Mm-hmm. Obama, everybody, when they were pushing this, it's not a tax. It's not a tax. They went to the Supreme Court and argued it's constitutional because it's a tax.
Right.
So the best you could say is they outright, emphatically, over and over and over again, lied to you to sell it to you.
It's so far-fetched.
Not a half-truth, not a misspeak, not a, they kind of blurred the lines. Right. This wasn't an untruth or some other word. They lied to you over and over. I mean, lied to you to the point of, I did not have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. That outright lied to you. But as I said, it's not really a tax.
Well, as long as they didn't say things like, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Or if you like your current health plan, you can keep your... At least they didn't say things like that, because those would have been lies.
Then, during the oral arguments at the Supreme Court, they also at one point kind of said it wasn't a tax, but their whole basis. And in spite of all this, Justice John Roberts and the others, the majority, ruled it was constitutional. I was stunned at this ruling. I honestly could not believe it. It's not that I was so opposed to it. The reason I wasn't delusional... there are things I believe are right, that I know are right, that is challenged at the Supreme Court. I go, well, this could go either way. It's not my hope that's blinding me to what I think will happen. So that was not the case here. It's not constitutional.
Right.
There was no way in my mind that they could even argue it was constitutional. Not even close, but nevertheless they did. Now, over the past couple of years, the Republicans have taken some steps to get rid of Obamacare. And the best they came up with is to defund it by saying it's we're going to get rid of the tax penalty, or the penalty, not the tax.
So if you don't have health insurance now,
you're not charged.
They don't charge you,
right? Which kind of upsets the apple cart. They thought they were being clever by saying
forcing
right,
you to do it.
Instead of just saying we're getting rid of this stuff.
Right.
They didn't want to do the hard work, and they didn't want the marketing of it. Because, I mean, have you really heard that much about them getting rid of Obamacare?
No.
Seriously, Obamacare was one of the chief arguments in an administration that was filled with so much bad, right? I mean, there was so much bad. We had arguments about Benghazi and all kinds of scandals, and they used the IRS to punish their political opponents to keep the right down. I mean, you go down the list of outrageous, unbelievably bad things. And Obamacare was arguably number one of the top couple issues. And in spite of that, over the last 2 years, they got rid of the tax penalty, and you hardly hear the news covering it.
Right.
What is it? Russia, all this other stuff. Showing you that it's
bogus.
Right.
That's all it is. That's the thing about it is... And the funny thing is, most people, I'll bet you, don't even realize that by not having it, if they don't have insurance, they won't get penalized. I didn't know it.
Right.
I follow the news all the time, and you still feel compelled. Crap, I got to get insurance, because if I don't get insurance, they'll tax me and probably throw me in jail. It's total. And not only that, I found out that in Texas, because of all this crap, there is one company left in Texas. That
this happened all over.
And it's Blue Cross Blue Shield. If you can have Blue Cross Blue Shield or Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're all going out of business.
There were some counties in the country that had no options. None.
Yeah, this is all designed to send it right back to the single payer system.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen.
That's what they're moving with this thing. So the Republicans, the best they came up with, instead of making a statement, instead of saying this is what's right, that was wrong, and also, by the way, solving the problem. Because, having an Obamacare exist is a problem.
Yeah.
It's not the only problem. There was a greater problem that led to people accepting this idea of big government health care. What was the problem? Outrageous costs of health care and health insurance. How do you fix it? Get the hell out of the way, which we don't have. But we'll do that. We'll talk more about that in a second. So what happened was the Republicans at best repealed the the penalty portion of it, which is claimed to be a tax.
Right.
Well, if that doesn't exist, there is no tax.
Right.
Remember, from the way they sold it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court ruled, yes, it's constitutional to make people buy health care because it's a tax on them.
Right.
In other words, they didn't concern themselves so much with what you were buying. It was the government said, if you don't do this, you pay a penalty, and that's considered a tax. Well, if there's no tax, the government is just forcing you to buy something.
Right.
The judge rightly ruled this is now unconstitutional, even staying within the guidelines of the Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah, they talked themselves into a corner, essentially.
That's what the leftists did.
So now what are they going to do?
I guess, the rest of it gets unraveled somehow.
Or you just don't hear anything more about it. They let it sit there.
The problem then is you've still got these pieces, these remnants all over.
Yes.
That bog down government allows for a Democrat president to get elected in 2 years and a Democrat majority in the Senate to go with that Democrat majority in the House.
And then reinstitute the full plan.
And it gets reinstituted. And then 2-4 years, whatever, down the road, they lose one of those parts of government that gets legislation passed, and they then rescind that part of it.
Right.
And then 2-4 years down the road, everything shifts politically, and then they reinstitute it. And then 4 years, 8 years down the road, this will be the ping pong match back and forth that does not help the people that the left is supposedly trying to help.
Right.
Does not actually solve the problem of spiraling healthcare costs.
No. Nope.
It just ends up being a political football.
Yes. It ends up making government more swollen than it already is, taking more of your tax dollars and wasting them, and wasting time.
The Republicans actually hurt themselves here because this allows those pieces in place, which just, as you said, swells government. It makes it more difficult and more oppressive because those pieces still exist. To prove I'm right about what's likely going to happen in the future, remember, the Republicans still have the Senate and White House as of the first of the year. But 2 years down the road, Trump could lose.
He might.
He might. You may not think it, but what about 4 years after that?
Yeah.
I mean, eventually a Democrat's going to get elected.
Yes.
And eventually, I don't know if it's 2 years or 1,000 years, you're going to have Democrats running both the House and the Senate. It's going to happen.
When President Ocasio-Cortez makes it, things are going to be different.
Chuck Schumer was asked about this district court ruling by F. Chuck Todd.
Oh, yeah. Love him.
And he had to say this.
Ruling. The assumption is there's going to be appeals. How do you appeal this law? Do you appeal the specific argument about the mandate, or the entire ruling, or is it on severability? Where do you attack this decision?
Severability, by the way, if you're not familiar, is the part that says, and maybe you've seen contracts or read contracts that talks about severability. What it means if you don't lay it out in a contract,
right?
People can say, oh, one part of this has been found that you broke one part of the contract, so the whole thing becomes null and void. Or when passing laws, one part of it is not constitutional or illegal, so the whole thing goes down. If they say you can sever part of it, it means part of it stays intact,
and
is what he's saying.
It doesn't affect the rest of it.
Right, and that's what he's asking about. Does it affect the whole thing or not? How are you going to proceed?
How do you appeal this law? Do you appeal the specific argument about the mandate, or the entire ruling, or is it on severability? Where do you attack this decision?
Okay, well, first, Chuck, it's an awful ruling. It goes, of course, it undoes pre-existing conditions. It jeopardizes the tens of millions who are getting good health care in the exchange, but it goes way beyond that. It would knock out funding for treatment of opioids. It would raise drug prices and close the donut hole so seniors would pay more for drug prices. It would eliminate a lot of maternal care, all kinds of women's health. It's an awful, awful ruling.
He started and then ended that little piece by saying it's an awful ruling.
Horrible ruling. Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't matter whether or not you like big government health care, whether or not you think it's going to help people, whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
Right.
The fact is, the judge was absolutely right, even within the construct of what the Supreme Court already outrageously ruled. I just told you, John Roberts in the Supreme Court was wrong. And if the world lasts long enough, this will be undone. Sometimes over the course of American history, it's taken 50 years for a second Supreme Court ruling to come down that says, no, they were wrong back then.
Right.
And moving forward, it becomes just accepted that, of course, that was wrong, left and right. These things happen.
Sure.
Right? Ideas, things like slavery. We all know slavery is horrible. Okay? Took a long time. Finally, we learned it. This will be the case with Obamacare. However, given what the Supreme Court ruled, if you argue it's a tax, and then there's no tax, of course, the whole thing is unconstitutional, even given severability.
Well, then they would have to get somebody to go back and rule that it is, in fact, a tax. That's the only way to change that, then, back to what it was.
The whole thing was, it is a tax, and the government... So the government's forcing people to buy stuff. We say this is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court said, what say you, Obamacare supporters? No. It's legal. It's constitutional because it's a tax when we force them to buy something.
Right.
Okay, done. You're right. Now you say, we're not forcing them to buy something. There's no penalty. There's no tax. There's no money involved. We're just telling them to buy stuff.
Right.
Of course that's right. But Chuck Schumer wasn't concerned with that. He's not actually, discussing the law. He's saying whether or not it's a bad ruling, or he says it is a bad ruling, because of what will happen.
Well, and he's telegraphing their plans. The Democrats obviously are going to plan to somehow,
and there it is,
to get the courts to basically rule it a tax again. Which they've done it once, they can probably get it done twice.
Right. He's not concerning himself with the Constitution or the law.
Nope.
Folks, that has to be the number one concern. I would like everybody in America to be a millionaire, for there to be no poverty, no crime, none of these things. I would like everybody to live a utopian life.
Except for that one guy.
That's true. Yeah. Everybody else, I want to have the perfect life. How do you do it?
You don't. You can't.
You can't, number
it's
one.
It's not possible.
But if you're not focused, if it's not based on right versus wrong, constitutional principles, the entire thing goes out the window. I mean, what Chuck Schumer is saying here is, wouldn't it be nice if these things happen, and therefore it's a bad ruling? It's a bad legal ruling, Chuck Schumer is saying, because he disagrees with his stated outcome.
Maybe we're actually missing the point, and maybe he's making a joke, because remember, he is the funny Schumer. So this may be him doing comedy.
Could be.
His timing might be
Listen
off.
again, and then to Brad Stagg's point, they're telling what they're going to do with this. Listen.
Or the entire ruling, or is it on severability? Where do you attack this decision?
Okay, well, first, Chuck, it's an awful ruling. It goes, of course, it undoes pre-existing conditions. It jeopardizes the tens of millions who are getting good health care in the exchange, but it goes way beyond that. It would knock out funding for treatment of opioids. It would raise drug prices and close the donut hole so seniors would pay more for drug prices. It would eliminate a lot of maternal care, all kinds of women's health. It's an awful, awful ruling. We're going to fight this tooth and nail. And the first thing we're going to do when we get back there in the Senate is put a vote on the floor urging an intervention in the case. The judge, a lot of this depends on congressional intent, and if a majority of the House and a majority of the Senate say that this case should be overturned, it'll have a tremendous effect on the appeal. So our first stop is the courts. We believe this should be overturned. It's an awful, awful decision.
Their first stop is the courts.
Good for them. Good for them. They've got pictures of some other judge with small furry animals somewhere.
And they'll just keep this political ping pong ball back and forth. So you people out there that support the president, support Republicans in Congress, and this is more on the Republicans in Congress than the president, because had they sent him a bill to outright repeal Obamacare, he would have signed it.
The Republicans don't want to repeal Obamacare.
They do not.
Neither do the Democrats. It'll never get repealed.
No, this is proof they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They had they done the right thing and repealed this thing, that would be much harder down the road for the Democrats to get a full piece of Obamacare-style legislation passed, because they have to put the entire infrastructure in place once again and go through that entire debate.
Yeah.
If all of it was extricated from the federal government's rules, laws, if it was gone, if the Republicans had done what they told you they were going to do for years, this would not be an issue. If the Republicans had done what they should do and balanced the budget when they were in power, the House, the Senate, and the White House, if they had done that and also said, here's what we're going to do when it comes to health care, these points would be moot. The way Democrats and Republicans get to argue ridiculous pieces of legislation is basing it on need.
Right. As opposed to the rule of law.
Right. So what happens, like Chuck Schumer, people, pre-existing conditions, it's horrible. If we had already solved these problems, it would be much more difficult to go out and argue this stuff. Look at all the people that need, well, Chuck, they can do this. The prices are down, whatever.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about it. They always argue throwing out the Constitution because people.
Right. And they also never mentioned the backdoor deals that they made with companies, insurance companies, drug companies, that if they overturned Obamacare, all of those deals that they made would go belly up, and that would cause a big stink.
Enter the Republicans. Mm-hmm. The Republicans want this too.
Of course they do.
They maybe, and this is the challenge the Republicans have all the time. They start off, some of them really, truly start off saying, I'm a Republican, I'm on the right, I believe in smaller government and constitutional principles. Mm-hmm. I would say, let's go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt and say all of them start off that way, which they do not.
You're generous, but okay.
Let's say they do.
Okay.
As soon as they get in Congress, they start liking the job. It's power, it's money, it's influence. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they'll argue they've got to make deals in order to stay there so they can do good some other time, which they don't do because they've got to make deals to stay there. Mm-hmm. One of the challenges they have is when it comes to corporations. They've got to get reelected. They've got to get these things in. So what they do is they make deals with those corporations. In this case, big pharma, hospital, big insurance, in order to say, we'll support big government health care and insurance because this guy wants it. This guy being this corporation. Now you say to yourself, why would corporations ever want this stuff? The government's, influencing what they can and can't do. Well,
money.
Right.
It all boils down to money.
When Obamacare was first introduced, the concept, the corporations, big pharma, insurance companies, all against it. Mm-hmm. All of them against it. And they have been for years.
Yep.
And then as it got close where it's like, they may actually do this, all of a sudden, a handful of insurance companies got on board. Mm-hmm. Why?
Money. Deals.
Because they would be one of the few left around.
Yeah.
It benefited them. So which would be best for insurance companies that believe that they can be competitive? No government involved. That's the best case scenario.
Sure.
But if you know government involvement's coming, you want to be one of the ones that is left around, that the government says, okay, you're operating. All the government does when they pass these ridiculous rules like Obamacare is stop the free market process. It cuts more people out of the game.
Yes.
So you say, we've got to survive. It looks like they're going to do this. We've just got to be one of the ones that are left around. So, hey, we're on board. Sure. We love you, Barry. Pass it. Sure. And that's what they did. Then they say, hey, we have guaranteed that people are going to need us.
Yeah.
So, hey, Republicans, make sure we're around. Let's go ahead and support this thing.
Exactly.
And that's the deal that's done.
Yeah. And we all get stuck with it. We get stuck with a high... insurance premiums have done nothing but go up. They've gone way, way up, and deductibles have gone up. Even people, my sister is one of those people who before Obamacare passed was, because my brother-in-law had pre-existing conditions, we can't wait because insurance premiums are going to go down and this and that and the other. And I thought, I'm not even going to discuss this.
Nope.
Because...
And listen, folks, if you have pre-existing conditions, my golly.
It sucks.
I get it. Mm-hmm. It's when I say these things, it's not that I'm not sensitive to what you're going through.
I get it, too.
You're not even thinking about any of this. You're thinking about survival. It's the same reason Trump got elected. None of the other stuff matters. If he does not get elected, I may not survive this. I get it's emergency. You'll take anything to get through that. It's a financial. Sometimes you won't even get the medicines. It's not just racking up bills. You've got to have the medicines, the treatments. I get it. I do. The problem is you're accepting enslavement for temporary safety and security. What good is it to live if you have to live on your knees? You're enslaving not just yourself, but your children and future generations. I know it. But you've got to look at it like people serving in the military. They are sacrificing for the Constitution, for all of us, for the future. Do you think the people that die in service preferred to die? No.
No.
They're doing what had to be done.
No. Yes.
And it's horrible to think that way. But it's even more disturbing to think of what's coming with the government controlling this stuff in single payer. It's not going to be better. You don't get, look at Obamacare. Did your prices come down? No, they didn't. Said it before. Do a news search today for the NHS in England or the healthcare in Canada. Do it today, do it tomorrow, do it any random day, and you will see the stories because they're out there every day about the failure somewhere. People are not getting the services they need. 9 years, 10 years. They don't get the medicines. Overcharging, under-delivering, people dying. It happens every day because there is no solution from the government. Well, do you want a corporation telling you what medicines you can have? No, but I don't want the government telling me either. At least if a corporation is determining whether or not I get coverage, at least if the free market exists, there will be options. You want solutions to the whole thing? Here it is. The free market. Well, look at healthcare costs. Now, Doc, we've had free. No, you have not. You have not had free market in forever when it comes to health insurance. It doesn't exist. Or healthcare companies. Try to start a healthcare company. It cannot be done today.
No, you would
I mean, a health insurance. You can.
Yeah,
you can't do it.
It wouldn't be possible.
Because of the government rules and regulations. The solution is insure who you want. Buy insurance through who you want, across state lines, buy it from anybody. Set up any system you want as long as the people setting up the system and the people who buy the service are fully informed and there's no scam. If there's no scam involved, somebody will say, you know what? All of those insurance companies are denying certain people with pre-existing conditions. I can figure out a system to do it. It's going to cost you more.
Right.
And then somebody else will say, I found out a way that I can challenge that health. Look at car insurance. Is there car insurance for high-risk people that they specialize in it?
Yep.
The general and others, right?
Yep.
That will happen. That's in spite of the fact that the government mandates car insurance. Get out of the way and let it run. And then if you're so benevolent on the left, Barry, Michelle, Nancy, Chuck, any of these cats, you're so benevolent that you want to help people. Why aren't you buying someone a health care policy, Chuck? Chuck's what you call rich.
Yeah, but
they all are.
He's helping everyone.
And you've
by
got health care
for life.
Right. How about giving some of your money up? Live on a $40,000 a year average income. Live on that, Chuck. Until you do, it's crap. Until you do, that's all it is. You're saying this stuff to get elected. How dare you say this stuff, promote this stuff, if you're really trying to help and you're not willing to help out of your own pocket? What you're saying is, I want everybody else to pay, not me. I'm so sensitive that people need help. I need to mandate that you take care of them.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Presidential advisor Stephen Miller says the Democrats have a simple choice when it comes to the amount of money they'll agree to for funding a border wall.
They can either choose to fight for America's working class or to promote illegal immigration. You can't do both.
Miller told CBS's Face the Nation yesterday the president stands behind his threat to battle the Democrats to the point of a government shutdown, if that's what it takes to secure the needed funding for the border wall. The president wants $5 billion. Democrats say they're willing to come forward with only about 1.6. The president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, says you can forget about having Mr. Trump sit down for a one-on-one with special counsel Robert Mueller in the Russia investigation.
In Giuliani's words on Fox News Sunday, over my dead body, he says there's nothing left to ask the president after the White House submitted written answers answers to Mueller's questions about collusion, though it's resisting questions about obstruction of justice. The Supreme Court has never directly said whether a president can be subpoenaed to testify in a criminal investigation, though Mueller's office could theoretically try that route if the president refuses an interview.
That is correspondent Sagar Magani reporting. The president says it was a major victory last week when a federal judge in Texas ruled that Obamacare is unconstitutional.
On the assumption that the Supreme Court upholds, we will get great health care for our people. We'll have to sit down with the Democrats to do it, but I'm sure they want to do it also.
The president called last week's ruling a great one for the country. There's been a big jump in the number of high school students who use nicotine-tinged electronic cigarettes. The annual survey of teen smoking finds that twice as many high school students have been vaping this year compared to last. The U.S. military says it's carried out 6 airstrikes on the Gondarash area of Somalia and killed a total of 62 of the al-Shabaab extremist rebels who were active in that part of the country. More of these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Doc Thompson, MoJo 50.
Missouri cops claim that Amy Nicole Perino punched a man, then hit him with a belt when he would not orally stimulate her.
He was supposed to talk dirty to her?
No, he was supposed to perform a sexual act on her. Here's how it all went down. She got undressed and chased the man around the home before pushing him to the ground and sitting atop him.
First question, could he hear the stereo?
That's when she began to beat him up. He told the cops that when she was on top of him, he was briefly unable to breathe. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, he couldn't hear the stereo, could he?
She was charged with sexual abuse and domestic assault. I'll let you decide if she's the type you want to date.
Okay.
If she's
that's not a woman.
Brad? Are you going to take the beating?
Oh,
or
hell yes.
It's like Danny Trejo had sex with Yoda and the baby was raised by a water buffalo.
Hey, it's Brad Staggs with big news. MoJo 50 is coming to you and to your town. It's all part of our way of helping the veterans in this country. The MoJo 50/50 tour is 50 states in 50 days. And we're traveling across the country in a bus. I don't know what could go wrong. If you go to MoJo5050tour.com, you can find all the details, including to tentative stops and how you can be a sponsor. MoJo 50/50 tour, MoJo5050tour.com.
Has landed.
I think it worked.
What?
I triggered Matlock.
That's tough to do.
Yeah, actually, it's not that tough. Tough, but I inadvertently triggered Matlock. I gotta start trying to trigger him now. Just as a fun game every day. So as soon as we went to break, he busts in and he was like, "Oh my gosh, healthcare!" Chuck Schumer. He actually has a pretty cool couple of angles on this story today. So he's going to cover it today immediately following our broadcast in about an hour from right now. So you're going to want to check that out right here on MoJo50.com. It's Matlock and the Conservative Cartel. But listen to the take that he has coming up on this. He has a couple of really cool angles that I didn't get to. But I would say the new part of this whole Obamacare ruling and everything else and what Chuck Schumer, the big takeaway, the new thing is that now, inadvertently or maybe vertently, the Republicans ensured that this issue will be around, even though we had a temporary victory, forever.
Yes.
By leaving this by leaving this in government, leaving those remnants around, this is going to pop up every couple of years, back and forth, instead of fixing the freaking problem. The Republicans had an opportunity to lead with the right ideas, to show how this could work, how life could be better, more people would be able to afford insurance. They know the answers. They talked about it a lot during Obama administration, but suddenly, once they had power, they forgot all about those and just said quietly, just defund part of it and we'll make this go away. And they've just ensured it's going to be around for a long time.
Collective amnesia. And by the way, the only thing I thought, and Jeff Westbrook, I totally agree with you on Twitter, when Chuck Schumer was talking about closing the donut hole, the only thing I thought of was the
Hillary's
picture.
donut hole?
That's all I thought of. And that's sad is what that is. Funny, but sad. So we retweeted it for you.
Thank you, Internet.
Yeah, the Internet is the best place ever.
That may be... it's probably one of my top 10 favorite picks in the history of the Internet.
It is. It's like Blazing Saddles. Every time I look at it, I laugh.
I laugh every damn time. The look on their faces, the fact that they don't get it. My wife had never seen that. Did I tell you that?
No.
Or if she did, it didn't, whatever. So this is just a month or so ago. I show her and I go, hey, have you ever seen this? And she goes, uh-huh. And then she paused a moment like, she's thinking, why did you tell me that?
Right.
And she looked and she went, oh. I was like, yeah, it's like that. And then she just shook her head. I don't know if she was shaking her head at me.
Yes. Yes, she was. I can tell you that.
She's pretty funny about stuff. She may have thought that was... And what makes that picture work? And did you retweet it?
Yeah.
Okay. What makes it work is it's not often that you see a donut that is that on either side.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, usually most donuts, those type, the raised donuts like
that.
Are
those crullers? Colors?
They're raised donuts. They're not the cake donuts.
Yeah, I think it's called a cruller.
Well, the one on the left is. No, that it's normally there's a happy medium with the size of the hole. But those are just
that is
Hillary's even on the left there. It's so
that's one end of the extreme, and I believe it is a cruller. Just
and smiling, and the girl's just smirking like
she knows. Sarah, the original jackhole, doing drugs is a choice. If someone has an opioid addiction, it's not my job to take care of their addiction and take care of them. It's their job and their family's job, not mine. And Schumer needs to understand that fact. And that's where he does understand that, Sarah. He doesn't care.
Well,
that's the
and you're right, but let's explore that for a moment because one of the things I try to do here is talk about solutions, not just bitching about the stuff. Sometimes you already know the solution. Sometimes you figured out. Maybe you haven't thought about these things. That's why we bring it up. Always with the solutions. I've got the answers. You've got the answers quite often. They
have the answers. They're not going to implement them. Because
their real driving force, even the Republicans, is stay in power.
Yes.
Do you know the chief concern or goal, number one, when it comes to North Korea, the Kim Jong-un regime, number one is protect the regime.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
America's, what is the president's oath of office? I swear, what does he swear to do?
To protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Protect not him or the current party in power.
Right.
But the regime. I hate to use that word, but the structure of government.
Right.
Because if that goes away, the rest is done.
Yes.
The Republicans and Democrats individually, as they get there, their chief goal, selfishly, is protect them, their power base, their regime, their structure.
Yes. Their mini empire.
Right.
And their royalty. That's what happens. You get up there and you become royalty. We've come full circle to England.
I can't remember who it was. Just not long ago, it pointed out, they said, most of these guys and gals in Congress have never made $180,000 a year.
Right.
Most of them have never made $100,000 a year.
Right.
Average salary in America is around $40-some thousand a year now.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get a salary making $180,000 a year, plus perks, and the perks are plentiful, not to mention, when you're in D.C., a member of Congress, the C's part when they walk down the street.
Yes.
When they walk in the halls of Congress, it's a member of Congress, member of Congress. Yeah. Leopold, member of Congress.
It's royalty. It's seeing the Queen walk down the street.
Right. So it's addictive. Of course they want that. So the solution with the drugs, let's dive into that a moment. You're right. I absolutely should not have to pay for somebody else's drug abuse. Now, You may be able to make an argument that, you know what, doc, somebody's born with some horrible disease and we're just going to be so as insensitive as say they're not going to get medical help. And this is the basis for people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and others saying we need to help. Sometimes they'll even say life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life. See, that shows right there.
Right.
Well, that's also not in the Constitution.
Right.
But regardless, you're saying life. People have the right to life. Even if it was, what does that mean? How much life? What are the parameters of that? There is no way for us to take care of everybody in every medical condition.
No.
Let's say you've got somebody with a disease that's newer, right? Some new disease.
Okay.
They're the only person that has it.
All right.
Some weird condition.
Born with 3 penises.
Whatever. And we should do what? Spend every amount of medical research money on them?
If you're that person, that's what you're thinking.
What about every other?
No.
You see, I mean, where do you break?
Of course.
How do you break it up? How
Yes,
much
the
goes where?
needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, except we've lately gotten that completely ass backwards. So,
well, but there's no way to break it up. What about this? That person's disease is worse. Don't they have a right to life as well? There's no way to divide it up. But when it comes to something like addiction, yes, you may be more subject to addictions based on who you are, your makeup.
Yep.
And nobody thinks, I'm going to be the one that gets addicted. It'll be great. No.
No.
But addictions start with you testing or trying the stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
So not only am I going to pay for everybody else's health care if they have some random disease or something, I now have to pay for it even if you knowingly took part. And let's face it, a lot of people that are addicted, there is no personal responsibility.
Oh, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And again, we've gone down this road where some things are legal and still addictive, and other things are illegal and addictive. And it should just put it
There's
all
a
out
hypocrisy and double standard there.
It's agonizing.
So I would say this: let's do everything we can outside of government to help people with addictions or other afflictions. But let's take addiction since she mentioned that. Let's do everything we can to help them. And let's focus on education. Education is a very easy and really inexpensive thing to do. Addiction education, I'm fine with that being taught in school.
Sure.
We already teach healthcare, and we already teach now all of this nonsensical crap about you've got to be sensitive and transgender and what. Be done with all of that. Spend that time truly educating about addictions. Let's focus. That's cheap and easy, and certainly within the scope of healthcare, or excuse me, health class.
Yeah.
Biology, fine. Teach that stuff. Yes, I know it's government. There are questions about that, but I mean talking in general. Focus on education. Do everything we can in the private sector to say we're going to make getting clean cheap and easy and affordable. There's all kinds of institutes that donate money, charities, all kinds of things like that. I'd rather the money that's currently going to Planned Parenthood go to addiction centers.
Well, don't they already do a form of that?
Hold on a second. Let me just say, I don't want government money spent on those things, but if you're going to spend it one place or the other, I'd prefer it go over there. Well, yes, there's already government monies that go to those things. There are.
And the needles and the fresh needles and the methadone. And
now fresh needles and that's nonsense. That's crap. That's just encouraging people. What you should say is, we're not going to give you needles, but we'll get you clean. Come on in. If you want to lay here and be pickled all day, that's on you. Sorry, buddy. And by the way, you know why they start doing that? Because of the needles with the AIDS and stuff, right? People sharing needles. Listen, if you continue this, I know you're addicted and you're not necessarily thinking right. You're running the risk of getting AIDS. You want clean? Here we go. We can help you out. All their plan has done is led to now dirty needles, used needles, being littered around San Francisco and other areas. That's all it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's nothing quite like San Francisco.
But what we need to be prepared to do is step over people who are suffering once we've given them every option and opportunity to get clean.
Yes, because some people will never, ever.
They will
Doesn't
not do
matter
that.
What you do, they will not.
And if there are those of you that are truly doing the Lord's work and can take those people in, even though they'll never get clean, good for you. That's what we're supposed to do. But it shouldn't be government. That has to be individuals. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the Steve 42 brought up a good point. Many addictions start with a prescription, and that's true.
Yeah. By the way, you're so worried about addictions now, and look at what Big Pharma is doing. Look at what they're doing to the veterans. Drug after drug after drug that only, at best, gets them addicted. Mm-hmm. They're not going to knowingly get off that stuff. It's just more and more need on Big Pharma and government. It's crazy. By the way, before we move on, I really have to get to this.
And now, the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
Really thought I forgot about it, didn't you?
I was waiting.
Why do white guys grow mustaches?
I don't know. Why do white guys grow mustaches?
So they can look like their mothers.
This has been the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
This is a thinking man.
Meaning white women have mustaches.
Yeah, you get that, yes.
But you're trying to figure out if you could substitute any part of that.
Totally acceptable, that's all.
It is.
Totally acceptable.
Because we know white women have mustaches.
Yes, they do. My grandmother did. Should have seen it. Bert, oh, no, it's grandma. Hey, grandma, what's up?
Hey, did you get your right on game yet?
Actually, I think I did order one.
Order
one. Yeah, I think so.
Just go to rightongame.com and get your right on game. It's getting pretty close to Christmas delivery, but I got to believe you could still get it in time for Christmas.
Yeah, you can order 2-day delivery. And if you want to see how to play it, you can.
Is the video still up?
Oh yeah, it's on the Facebook page. And we had what was that last week? Last Thursday, we had quite the time over at Paladin Cigars, drinking. Because it
was a lot of fun.
What could ever go wrong with drinking booze and 5 or 6 guys in a room with cigars, forgetting there's a camera there, broadcasting to people everywhere.
RightOnGame.com. It is a lot of fun. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but mocking the left. And the categories are fun. It really leads to conversations too. Like good conversations and fun conversations.
And that's the point of the whole game. Is really it's about discussion. It's about finding out what people really think. And by the way, there's no cultural appropriation category, which I think needs to be fixed.
Yeah, there was.
No, there's not.
Look at the game.
There's not cultural. All right, hang on. Where's the game? Where'd it go? Where did you put it?
We gave it away.
Damn it. Is it not here? Hold on, I'm looking for
something. We gave it away.
Oh crap! We did give it away. Damn it, we gave our game away.
He wasn't on mic when you were.
Gave it away.
We did give it away. She's sending another.
It's not here yet?
No.
Well, how?
We just told her she had to send it. Relax.
Yeah, well, see, you did this so I couldn't prove my point that there's no category.
Mocking the left feels so right. Go to rightongame.com. It's rightongame.com. Get a 10% discount if you use the promo code MoJo50. That's MoJo50 for a promo code. I think, were they about $25?
$25.
That's a really good price.
Well, but is the promo code, does that still work? The promo code? No.
Yeah, I think December 20th is the last day you can order one.
So you still have another 3 days.
You want to have fun? And this is not me just marketing this, although it could be used for that as well. That would be a hell of a game on New Year's Eve.
Yes, it would.
Because New Year's Eve parties, I got to believe, are usually more politically diverse than Christmas gatherings or other holidays.
I think so.
Because holiday gatherings, it's family, and you're always going to get the one crazy person or something like that, sure. But New Year's Eve, it's like, hey, everybody, let's go drinking. So maybe having a party at your house or whatever.
It could end in a good fist fight too.
Oh,
have those cameras roll. And have we figured out where people are going to be sending their videos? By the way,
actually, I don't know the answer to that.
Wow, the look on your face right now is priceless.
No, I'm still trying to figure out how you got there were 3 days left. See, I don't know if anybody picked up on that.
3 days left to what?
I said that December the 20th was the last day, and you said there are 3 days then.
From now, today's the 17th.
That's right.
3 days.
18, 19, 20. That's 3 days, right?
Right.
How many days till Christmas?
It's 14. Or 7, rather. 7 days left till Christmas.
Doc, you know
You
where I'm
can't
going.
have it both ways.
I
You know
can
where I'm
too.
going with this,
It's
right?
one way or the
I
other.
can have it both ways.
We tried to make this very point about how many days till Christmas.
I'm wondering how many jackholes picked up on the fact that
I didn't even catch it. I wasn't even paying attention to it, Ron.
They're going to back me. They're going to. Look, we live in a world.
Lord.
We live in a world where Miss Spain is a dude. I can say there are 12 days between now and Christmas, and
He
damn it, I'm
identifies
right.
as somebody who has 12 days left till.
Thank you. And Sioux Falls is in Michigan. I don't give a damn what you say. You know what? If he can be a dude, I can be right on.
It's a great point.
Thank you.
You're kind of waffling back and forth on how many days till when, where, what.
Don't ever Google blue waffle.
Yes, do not do that.
Do not do it. Alexa.
Ron, have you done that?
Have you?
No, I have not.
Good.
You guys keep telling me
Do
not to.
do it. You're going to be tempted at some point. You're there and you're like,
I'm bored.
Don't.
How
do
bad
it.
can blue waffle be?
Do not.
You'll never unsee it.
Oh, great.
Right on game. Were we done with them, by the way? Right on, or are they done with us?
Either way. Might as well finish it up.
RightOnGame.com. If you want to have a good time this New Year's Eve, and if you want to give it as a Christmas gift, order now and order expedited delivery. And use the promo code MoJo50 for 10 or 20%.
How do they get expedited delivery?
Just go to the website and say, I want expedited delivery. There's
Okay.
probably that. If there's not that option, there should be. Karen will get them done.
That's rightongame.com.
And by the way, speaking of Karen Engel Ashmore says over on Facebook, so you're saying help the masses but screw the few with regard to health care.
No, not at all.
That's what it sounded like you're saying.
No, you're actually helping the few as well.
The needs of the many.
Obamacare and others do not work.
No,
Period.
they don't.
Specifically, if you're talking healthcare, it doesn't work. So you few may even believe you're getting temporary relief or help. You're not. And certainly, even if you do get moments of it, long term, it's going to be horrible for you. And as far as Brad's, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Yeah. Beyond healthcare.
That was actually Mr. Spock who said that, I think. So, Kinsey Richards, hey, Doc, are you going to remind us, by the way, which cards are the broken cards so they can throw them out when they get the right
Well,
one?
watch the video because some are broken.
Yes,
I had
some
to
are.
take those. The ones that I got wrong, clearly broken.
And Let's Be Frank in Pennsylvania says reducing the number of commercials worked so well they decided to try to do the same with tweets. We're reading tweets. Damn it, these people would bitch if you gave them $1 million in 12.
Well, and I got to be honest, we have done less communiques in the last few weeks. Most of that is Brad's fault. A little bit of it's my fault. Here's what's going on.
Most of it is Doc's fault. I will take a small part of the blame.
We have been kind of, you may not realize it, but there is a completely different approach here at MoJo 50. As we add more shows that are produced by us that we own, because we have some shows the rest of the day that we just air other people's shows or whatever. But we got Brandon Morris now, and we got DOAE and the other one.
Him.
Right.
Own him.
Where they'll be switching to our format clock as well with this stuff. The problem is we have less time during commercials to go through and see what's tweet worthy.
Yes.
So we're, constantly trying to do all this stuff. We have figured out a few solutions around some of that. We'll do more and more implementing of that very soon, but it's a bit of a growth period for us.
Yes, it is.
So we apologize for it. I actually do. I want to get to more communiques. I like the live aspect of it. But also in the future, we'll begin to take some more calls too. At this hour, we're on pretty early. Not as many people want to chime in via the telephone, but certainly during the Conservative Cartel and Brandon Morris' show, the Morse Code, many more phone calls during the midday hours coming up as well. The new year will bring with it a lot of good things.
Yes. And that one big thing.
I had hoped to be able to announce late last week or today a couple of new shows that we're signing.
Right.
But they had to have contracts and all that stuff done.
Yeah.
I would say right now, so it's our show, 3 hours, Conservative Cartel, 3 hours, Brandon Morris, the Morris Code, an hour. That is 7 hours. That is produced, owned by MoJo 50 a day.
Owned.
By, and we have a couple of others like DOAE. That's not every day. DOAE.
So
I'm
I
trying
can't
to get the
give you
letters right.
information on the DOAE show.
Okay.
It will change its name slightly. The branding will stay the same, but the name of the show will be Defenders Live with Stephen Airy. And on Stephen Airy.
I thought that was Captain America.
No. So it's going to be a single person show moving forward into the
Who is
year.
he?
Stephen Harry?
Airy. He's the one
I
you
don't know
met
him.
in D.C.
Who?
Nah, it doesn't sound familiar.
I don't know if that's his name.
Gopher.
He's a good kid. He's,
he
really. Yeah.
So somewhere around January, I think it's the 7th, he's going to go to 5 nights a week.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So
Live.
So, and how long will his show be? Hour or two? 7?
It's an hour.
Okay. So that'll bring us at that point to 8. Did I do that right? 7, 8. Yeah. Here's the thing. Ron Phillips has told me that as of about February 1st, so that's just over a month away, do not do Brad Stagg's math, that we will be 14-ish hours a day, live shows airing that that is through us, not just something else we air and replay. So we're going at that point, 8 of that's more than doubling. So there's a lot of shows to announce here.
Once we get to 14, we'll only have 6 more to fill before we go a full day.
No,
full
it'll
day.
be more than that. But
Yeah,
the point is, we've got a lot of shows to announce within the next 6 weeks or whatever it is. Some of them will be announced within days. We just got to finish those up. And some pretty big names, I can't hear a thing you're saying.
Sorry, Jeremy Hansen does 2 hours a day too, live.
Oh, that's right. So that's
yeah, that's 10. Thank you, Matt.
8, 10. Matt came in to get the back.
It's so much fun to watch you math wizards do all this in your head.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new live show tonight starting. He's actually been scheduled, but he's been doing his show in pre-record.
Who's that?
But Watson Prunier with Battle for Freedom will be live on Monday nights.
Okay, then we're going to have a hell of a lot more than 14 in the next.
Yes.
It'll be more like 16,
Yeah, because
17
we've got
hours.
4 hours of live that we're not talking about yet coming up.
Right. So, wow.
I should go more to these meetings because I have
This
absolutely
sounds really
no idea.
impressive now.
Yeah, we're going to have a full day of live programming. This is great, guys.
Are we filling up all 26 hours?
Say again?
We're filling up all 26
All
hours of the day?
26 of them.
Son of a... How are we doing that?
Smoke
That's
and mirrors.
amazing. I don't know how... Man, somebody's working overtime.
Yeah, they
I
are.
just can't wait till we get to announce Michelle. I mean, I wasn't supposed to say anything. Oh,
wow.
sorry, darn it. Phew, whew.
Wow.
Wow.
Keep that...
Sorry.
Go back, erase that, please.
Out of the bag.
Just erase that.
We've got a lot of
people
important
after this
shows.
show.
Gav, I mean, sorry. Whoop, zip, 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 zip.
This is why every time the attorney calls us...
What did he say? What did
People are going to be flipping out.
The attorney...
I wish we could
Doc,
announce
here's what
those
you
too.
said. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. It's right there. Jeez. You know they tape all this stuff, right? Unbelievable.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
This moment of silence.
All this week here on By the Numbers, we're looking forward to the year 2019. Today's number 5. As we head into 2019, there's going to be 5 generations of people working side by side for the first time in modern history. That's because Generation Z is starting to enter the workforce in a major way. Yes, Gen Z, which are those born in the mid-90s to mid-2000s, are about to start impacting the world as full-blown adults. And given the world that they've been born into, this could get very interesting. One thing is for sure, this generation is immersed in technology in a way none have ever been before them. Take these facts from a recent Dell Technologies survey of 12,000 members of this generation from around the world into consideration. 68% of this generation knows how to code already. 80% aspire to work with cutting-edge technology. 91% say technology would impact job choices amongst similar job offers. 80% believe technology and automation can bring about a more equitable work environment. Just 53% prefer to work in traditional office environments as opposed to working from home. 52% are more confident in their tech skills versus non-tech skills for employment. 75% expect to learn from peers on the job rather than through online training, and 77% are open to being tech mentors in the workforce. Also worth noting, Generation Z is about to outnumber millennials for the largest generation on the planet. This group will make up 1/3 of the overall population on the planet and about 1/5 of the workforce. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this young group impacts the world as they unleash their tech-savvy skill sets on a world that's already seemingly changing.
It's your Daily Mojo, Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs. See how quick those breaks are?
They're so fast.
And that wasn't even a commercial, so
No.
holy moly.
Yes, it's unbelievable how fast these things go.
Over the weekend, James Woods. You familiar with James Woods?
I love the
On
James
Twitter,
Woods.
it said Real James Woods.
Love him.
He responded to a story that was making its rounds. I think it may have originally started on BuzzFeed, but it's all over the place. 33 things almost all white people are guilty of. Did you see it?
Yeah.
And James Woods responded, lovely. Now do black people and yellow people and brown people.
Right.
What in God's name is wrong with you numbskulls? Did you see my rebut?
That we were.
Hold my beer at Real James Woods. Coming up Monday on mojo50.com. Hashtag things black people do. Hashtag things yellow people do. Hashtag things red people do.
What about?
I'm going to get to those now. So I need your help. Please use the hashtag things black people do, things yellow people do, things red people do, and, of course, things white people do. See, I'm fine with BuzzFeed mocking white people. I are a white people. There's all kinds of silly things I stereotypically as a white person do. All kinds of those things. And that's fine. I can laugh. In fact, not only can I laugh at myself and white people, I'm encouraging others to laugh at us. Yes, we're funny. White people are goofy, silly, nonsensical, funny. And so are black folk. And yellow folk.
Yep.
And red folk. And brown folk. All of us. Even by race. You people are so close to getting it right.
Wow.
It's Freudian slip there, right?
But you have that. You have the get out of jail.
I'm allowed to do that. I got two gets out of jail free cards, right?
Damn it.
An air and a spare, baby. No, I think we're all funny, but they're only willing to say white people. So, in order to show that we are truly the diverse ones, we're not only going to mock white people, we're going to mock black folks and yellow folks and red folks and white folks, all of us. A rainbow of folks to mock. Already today, we've nailed the yellow people, transgender, those with lesbianic tendencies, all of those, right?
And women who like women.
Yes, exactly. So, and remember, some lesbians are men.
Damn it, this is where I get confused.
See? That's right. So if you would, please now share on Twitter and throughout the day, because we can continue this conversation in the next couple of days as soon as you get more in. Hashtag things black people do. Hashtag things yellow people do. Hashtag things red people do. And you can use hashtag things white people do. Hashtag things brown people do. Go ahead and put them all out there.
Yeah, the funniest one, by the way, I saw was that white people love to...
well, let me get on the list here. You tell me.
All right.
Well, tell me the one that you thought was
Well, it was the Google thing. White people love to hold their phone while saying, I wish there was some place I could look that information up while holding their phone.
Yes, and you do that as well.
I do not ever do that.
Here it is. White people love to say, quote, if only there was a way we could find out, quote, before taking out their phone and Googling something. Brad Staggs does that multiple times a day.
But I do it as a form of entertainment to those around me. I feel that I have an obligation to entertain.
Yeah, that's the point. It wasn't saying why people do it. It just says that white people do this, and you are white and you do it. So I'm guessing the other people who say that also say it as a form of entertainment.
I would think so.
Okay.
I would hope so.
All right, here we go. Other things that almost all white people are guilty of doing. According to, who cares? White people love to use the bathroom before leaving a restaurant and come out shaking their hands dry saying, ready to rock and roll.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, but I can see a white guy doing that.
I did it just this morning.
See?
Did you say ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, buddy.
He's painfully white.
That's not what it
Painfully
is.
white.
White people love to pronounce Target as Target. Yes, I do that.
Yes.
And Jacques Penney.
What's that? Never heard that.
No, French.
J.C. Penney.
Jacques Penney.
Wow.
I know we used to pronounce Gobel beer Jobé.
Jobé?
What beer?
Gobel.
The hell's Gobel beer?
Exactly.
Okay.
White people love saying not too shabby. Yeah, I don't think that's epidemic. I feel like there's better ones, but let's see. White people love telling you their eyes change colors. I don't do that. I guess I could see the women maybe doing that more. My eyes change colors. Is that kind of a...
Well, it depends. Like when they're saying that depending on what I wear?
No, like...
My eyes change... Hi, I'm white. My eyes change color?
It's keeping the people with dark eyes whose eyes don't change down. You know.
Okay, but... Okay. Just moving
Not a lot of the minorities have non-black or brown eyes.
Okay. I have brown eyes. What's that make me?
Full of crap.
Okay.
Another one says, white people love to bump into you and say, whoops, excuse me, let me sneak by you.
Yes.
Okay.
I've done that. And
Did
I'm
it this
white.
morning. White people love to say, if only there was a way we could find out before taking their phone out. That one. White people love going to Baskin Robbins when it's 40 degrees out. Yes.
Yes.
That's ice cream.
Is that a white thing?
That's an ice cream lover thing.
Yes, it is. I was going to say, because here in this area, there's the Bahama Breeze, Bahama Bucks. And I've seen black people there before. So it's not just white folks.
You have spotted black folk. You've done the research.
Yeah, I have.
Brad Stagg's conducting his own research. There are minorities at Bahama Bucks. Good. Thank you.
Well, let me go back through my log, make sure I was right.
At 4:15 a.m., four black gentlemen approached.
It was 4:15 p.m.
I thought they were going to rob the place, but it turns out they also like cold treats.
They were just there eating ice cream.
Interesting.
And I made it up.
I didn't realize that was, but I drink iced coffee all year round. I eat ice cream all year round.
Mm-hmm.
Are there less minorities doing that in the...
Well, we'll have to launch a probe into that one.
My wife does it.
She's all right. Well, then
she also eats ice cream when it's cold. Hey-o! Where's the dog? White people love stopping a conversation while they're having fun to say, "We having fun?" No, that's wrong. We having fun, comma, yet.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Get it right. White people love to tell you to pack them in your suitcase when you tell them you're going on vacation. Can I also clarify that one? That needs an addendum.
Okay.
You know, you say, hey, I'm going to Bahamas. Take me with you back on your vacation.
I can't fit in your suitcase.
That's also an old white person thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you respond with, if I hack you up into little pieces and you'll fit in my suitcase. That's the last time they ask you that, by the way.
Somebody's reading, white people love saying the names of the places they pass when driving with no intention of actually going there. Hey, at Chili's. A nail salon. Look at a white car wash, or look at a car wash. I got to believe that's universal. The only ones I point out are the ridiculous coffee shops, hair places. They always have the stupidest pun names.
The hairport.
The hairport. The hair house. A cut above.
The hair house. What's that supposed to be?
I don't know.
Okay. Just checking.
And coffee places, right?
Uh-huh.
Brood awakening.
That's clever.
And by the way, churches, you need to stop with the sayings out there.
Oh, no. Those are the best.
Stop it.
Those are
Do not encourage them, white person.
Those are the funniest ones.
White people love saying, we got here at the right time when they're somewhere and the line forms behind them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've done that.
Is that
yeah.
really to white
Boy,
people?
we sure got here at the right time, didn't we?
White people love saying, I thought you fell in when you take more than 2.5 seconds in the bathroom. Again, that's an old white person thing.
Yeah.
I think these are a lot of just white people love saying, and if I could just get an autograph when you need to sign a receipt.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Some of us also say, I need your John Hancock.
Yes.
Because we like to say Hancock. White people love to say nothing like a free car wash when it's pouring outside. Really? I don't know that I've
ever said that one. I think those.
I think it's like one white person that they know that says it.
Those are the Mexicans. Come on.
White people love to ask, you working hard or hardly working? Okay, that was white people like 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Most of us have moved beyond that, except old people.
Yeah. Old people are really dragging us down as whites.
If we could just kill them all.
Good grief. Why? No kidding.
I mean, I'm just looking for some sort of final solution to stop this, you know. White people love picking up the check and saying, all right, what's the damage? Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yes.
Okay. I say that. I don't know if I say it regularly, but I've said that.
Yeah, I say it a lot.
Okay. Here's one.
All right.
Yes. White people love saying, see you next year at 11:59 p.m. on December 31st.
Yes. You know why? There's nothing else to say.
Second grade teacher. We were leaving for Christmas break. She said, I'll see you next year. And I was way confused. What the hell's going on?
So that
I was like, the end of the school year? This is
troubled
great.
you from a young age, did
It's
it?
like it's not summer break. White people absolutely love saying they'll always buy more than they need at Target. Okay. White people love saying, whoa, it's a party in here when entering a crowded elevator.
I love to say that.
White people love to say, well, gonna have lunch for tomorrow when they're filling up their to-go box at a restaurant.
Doesn't everybody? How's that a white person thing?
Maybe these are. Maybe we're blinded by our white privilege.
These are starting to sound like racist jokes.
White people love soup and the cha-cha slide in that order.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree because I think the cha-cha slide is a whole lot better than soup. I mean, I've thought that, and I've always been kind of the black sheep of the family. I have no idea what they're talking about.
White people like soup. You know who likes soup more than white people?
Who?
Asian people.
If it's a chicken noodle.
No, is there Koreans? Soup with every meal. There is a soup side with every meal. Go to Korea. See what happens.
Is it egg drop soup?
No, it's whatever crappy soup they have.
So, well, they always serve egg drop
Korean
soup.
soups are generally speaking, not good.
Like take leftovers and add water to them and you have soup?
No, that would be good. They have something going on with soup. It's called cha. That's what threw me off when it said they love soup and cha-cha slide. Cha is soup in Korean, so I was like, soup and the cha-cha.
See, there's a joke there. Work through it. Come on, work through this. You've got this one.
It also means car. Soup and car.
All right, so it's a car soup joke. Yeah. There's
cha slide, car slide, slipping on the right.
So you eat soup, wreck car.
Yeah, Korean soup. They have one soup. I don't know what the name is, but they refer to it as woman soup.
Woman soup?
Yeah, it's a soup that they feed Korean women, eat like massive amounts of it right after giving childbirth.
Okay.
Or right after childbirth, giving birth.
Have some soup. Shut up!
That's right. No, they did.
Get that out of my face.
And it does not taste good. It's bad. You also eat it on your birthday. It's also birthday soup. I don't know what it's made from.
Sounds dirty.
It's a light soup with just a bad, funky flavor.
Have some birthday soup.
White people love playing giant Jenga. I've never played giant Jenga, but it does sound fun.
I'm actually making a giant Jenga.
White people love to get in a long line when it starts moving, say, hey, well, at least we're moving. Yes. White people love putting the blue crap in their toilets. The
tiny bowl man.
Or the little thing, yeah. So what they're saying is white people love to ensure they have clean toilets. Okay. White people love to talk about how they pulled up to the carpet and found hardwood under there. Yes, that's true.
Does the carpet match the drapes?
White people love saying, come do mine next when walking past you doing yard work. Which give you that.
I will do, and every time
I'm
they do, I
hoping that
want
at
to
some
hit them.
point, it's not a joke. I'm really hoping some point
someone will do it.
Right.
Yes.
White people love saying, son of a gun. Yes, we do. White people love saying, OMG, we're eating so much on this trip, but we're also doing a lot of walking. Yeah, that's true.
Everybody
White people
says
love
that.
saying, act like you love each other when taking pictures.
Act like you like each other.
That's like, yeah.
There's something completely different.
White people love redoing high fives if you miss. But the only reason is because we miss. We're not as coordinated.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and around here, remember, it's high 4.5s.
White people love telling you how many miles away the lightning is during a storm. That's called science. White people like science. And white people love not being able to believe that it's almost 2019 already. Yes, I will say I can't believe that those are white, but if you're telling me they are and they're not part of your culture, that's fine. It's nice. It's a kind of educational outreach.
Aren't these just things people say in general and do in general?
Yes, but maybe that's white people.
Well, I have
hashtag things black people do.
Okay.
So if you've got any, I'm just going through here.
I wonder if there are. I don't.
Here it is. MoJo, 5-0s, resident bronuts call each other racial slurs. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Things yellow people do. Suck at driving.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's able to say that. I, however, am. The yellow people I know, yes. Things that red people do. Claims that every inch of land in America was theirs first. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Things black people do. Let's be frank in PA. Tell me jokes I can't repeat without sounding like a Klan member.
Yes. I'm going to give you that.
Yeah, that's
So get those all into us. Things hashtag things black people do. Hashtag things yellow people do. Hashtag things every other color do.
See, I think people are terrified of even putting this out there. Because once you put it out there,
of course,
it's going to be hung around your neck.
Right. Well,
like an albatross.
Well, that's the reason I'm asking yellow and brown and red people too, because they got to pass on this stuff. Of course, most people can't. We've noticed that before. You can't say those things. So I'll leave it up to those people to do.
Oh, Larky Farkin.
And you know what? That may actually be making our point for us, too.
Mm-hmm. And Larky Farkin, great point. Does it mean if a non-white does any of those things on the list that white people do, we can accuse them of cultural appropriation?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It will never stick, but we can try that. We can absolutely try that.
See, that's part of the point here, that you can't do those things.
Right.
Tweet, post, whatever. But you can about the white people comments. If stuff like that frustrates you, and it does me, you need to battle it and you need to use it as much as you can. And also fight this at the ballot box, fight this with organizations and ideas. We've got to not let this go. The more you let this go, the harder it is going to be to fight it down the road. When they have completely monitored or taken it upon themselves in government to monitor and police everything we say, so it's bad enough that it's in the court of public opinion, but that court of public opinion will lead to government action. It will. To infringing your First Amendment rights. You can battle all of that by simply switching your account to patriotmobile.com/doc. Patriot Mobile is out there fighting for you each and every day. On top of giving you amazing cell phone coverage, the coverage is awesome, saving you money quite often. They're also fighting for the things that you support and against the things you do not. In just a couple of weeks, months, actually not a couple, but a handful of weeks, March 1st. By the way, I think some people are going to announce even sooner this year that they're going to fight Trump. They're going to challenge him.
Oh, yeah. They'll jump in the ring far sooner.
I think it's going to you'll see at least somebody in January. Elizabeth Warren's likely going to announce within the first, 8 weeks or so of the new year. We are heading into the 2020 election. We know it is the most important election of our lifetime because everyone.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Coming
is the
up
most
on
important of our lifetime. So what you need to do is switch your account to patriotmobile.com/doc. If you do, they're going to take just a little bit of the money that you give them in profit and send it to support candidates, ideas, organizations that you support. Free market principles, conservative ideas and values. It's a great company that has helped us out quite a bit. They believe in us. They were one of the first advertisers to come on board and say, we're going to help you guys out. We know your audience is small at the beginning and has already begun to grow, but we're still going to help you out and be an advertiser because we want to support your organization.
Yes, Alan, by the way, thank you, Lisa, for bringing by the bags of money on Friday. Was that Friday? From Patriot Mobile, Lisa came by.
It was swag. It wasn't money.
Those weren't bags of money?
Not as far as you know.
Crap.
Your bag is in there, but it's why would you think it's money?
I don't know. But the thing about switching to Patriot Mobile is you're going to feel guilty about it because it's the lazy white person's way of of making these
White
protests.
people love switching their account to Patriot Mobile.
Because you really don't have to do any more work after you've done that. You can just pretty much, get up every day, go to work, and do your job. You don't have to worry about taking time off for those protests and all of that stuff, which really can run into a lot of extra time, especially if you don't get extra protest time days off from work. It's all patriotmobile.com/doc.
All right. We can get some more of these, but please, if you are able to share in the next couple of days, I know these are going to take time. Hashtag things black people do and go down the entire list.
Well, and you will be, you'll be criticized. You'll probably have your house egged, your car keyed, your reputation besmirched, but it's going to be worth it.
A delivery robot burst into flames at UC Berkeley.
I hate it when that happens.
And they decided to have a candlelight vigil.
In honor of the robot?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's sensitive. That's Robot Lives Matter.
There's the candlelight vigil at UC Berkeley for the robot.
That is, those are candles. That's very nice.
So let me get this straight. They don't care about people on the right. You can say and abuse them as much as you want.
Yes.
Unborn babies. Seriously, up to the day that they were getting ready to be born, you can abort. They don't care about that.
Yep.
They don't care about any of those things. They don't care about people's Second Amendment rights. They don't care about any opinion. If you have an opinion that's on the right, you are subhuman. All of that. But they are boo-hooing over a delivery robot that went up in flames.
They have their priorities straight.
And by straight, you mean?
Out of whack.
This is your life?
This is the next generation, too. These are people who will be ruling the world next. Good luck.
Yeah, so the robot is being hailed a hero and a legend. It was about 2 p.m. last Friday. They have 100 delivery robots all across campus.
Wow. So their population went down by a full percentage point.
That's right.
That's sad.
And it burst into flames. And then people went out to investigate the fire. And then once it did, they put up a little. It's not just a candlelight vigil. It's actually a
little shrine.
What do you call those?
A memorial.
Memorial.
Yes. You do people do it to people who.
I feel like I'm missing a word though too.
No, I
think a shrine or memorial.
Shrine memorial. Yeah.
If sometimes if a police officer is killed or a child, it's a real public story, like Sandy Hook or something.
Yes.
And you see the mound of teddy bears and flowers and stuff like that, which is an odd thing.
It is kind of weird to stack that stuff on a sidewalk. When someone
then it starts raining and gets all
and
whatever.
It turns into mush.
But it's people trying to find out. They just feel like they have to do something.
Right.
It's like everybody donating blood after 9/11. None of those people were alive.
No.
It's not like, 4,000 injured.
No.
But I just got to do something. So these people who were so upset about the robot dying, they held a vigil for him. And
who's going to deliver their stuff to them now is the problem.
It's not about that, Brad. It's not about the delivery. That's very selfish.
Well,
that's not it.
Okay.
It's about the people recognizing that robot lives matter.
Well, they do. Especially if you depend on those robots to bring you stuff.
That's not what it's about.
Of course not.
It's about the robot's feelings, Brad.
Who's going to take care of the robot's family now?
UC Berkeley, I'm
guessing. Is there a GoFundMe page for the robot?
I would think so. Hey, I got to remind you about Era Capital Management, too. ERA, that's Era Capital Management. They are there ready to help you manage your money. So if you have retirement investments right now, 100,000, 200, whatever it is, consider Era Capital Management. Go to eracapitalmanagement.com. They can manage your IRAs. If you have a 401k left at another company, I'll be doing that within the next couple of days, switching mine over from an old company to Era Capital Management. Just log on to eracapitalmanagement.com and find out all the things they can do for you. Era Capital Management LLC is a registered investment advisor. Era Capital Management LLC provides fee-only portfolio management. The advisor may not transact business in states where it is not appropriately registered, excluded, or exempted from registration. Keep in mind that investing involves risks. The value of your investment will fluctuate over time, and you may gain or lose money. No strategy can assure success and is not guaranteed. And disclaimers like that is the reason why you actually need Era Capital Management.
I love the middle part. Those are deep and profound.
No, when you think about it, that is the exact reason you need to contact them, because of all these rules and regulations.
Yes.
It is just too muddy to try to figure out yourself now. Listen, this is a great company. This is a company who believes in what we do, believes in the things that you believe in, and could use your help. Listen, why would you invest with somebody that does not think like you? If you've got an old 401k, switch over today. You need help managing your portfolio, just go through their little process to find out what they can do. Let them show you.
The best time to start having a professional manage your portfolio was 20 years ago. The second best time
was 19 years.
It was 19 years. The third best time. Today is the
EraCapitalManagement.com. Go to EraCapitalManagement.com.
What do you mean it's let's go?
All righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of your Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. And we're running late, so they're going to be even more pissed off. We learned this year I will be supporting Schleffenhagen with a new mattress from Element Mattress. Schleffenhagen? Yeah.
Yeah, this year.
We learned if you plan to reduce if your plan to reduce bullying is to teach that boys menstruate too, you're doing it wrong.
Big time.
That's going to be a beatdown.
Yes, it is.
We learned enslaving women is wrong. But if you're going to enslave them, trade them in every few years.
Right.
9 years a slave?
Why not get a fresh one? Yes. Don't use the same one.
Newer model.
Yeah, exactly. With all the new accessories.
We learned that having the name Trump will get you bullied, but not as much as having the name Pelosi. Bradley J. Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned that Hillary and donuts are now inextricably linked in my mind, which is not a good thing.
Nope.
Ever. I also do not order the extreme heat wings at Buffalo Wild Wings in New Jersey. At least not if you believe the headlines.
No.
And finally, I learned that if a certain show host needs to give a little heads up to a certain unnamed co-host if they don't want their punchline upstaged.
What, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Starting over in the MeWe chat room. Mojo Mofo learned I've also been to Climax, Michigan by way of Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
I've been Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Who hasn't?
It's not as fun as you think.
Matthew Coons learned I don't want to be thinking about anything involving Hillary and nudity. Who does?
Imagine her doing naked yoga.
No. 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 Chris, wow. No, get out of my head.
How about running a 4K?
No. Chris Kellogg learned white people wash their car in the driveway.
Okay. I'll give you that.
They do. Where else are you going to wash it? Stinky.
How come you wash your car in the driveway, but you park in a driveway with a park in a...
See, white, that's a white people joke. Stinky learned white people like saying it's only 7 days until Christmas when it's 8 days before Christmas. Hey, you know what? You can just bite me on that one. Pink Floyd learned opiate addiction is Darwin at work. Step aside and let the work happen.
Nicely done.
And I think I would agree. Season Greeting Duck learned Korean birthday soup is duck manduguk, and and in Korea, it's good.
It's terrible. Don't try it. There's so many good things. It's the only thing I really don't like. Horrible.
Sarah, the original Jackhole. What Chuck Schumer doesn't seem to understand is it's not my job to pay for someone's health care. Period. Wow, Sarah.
Done. Nailed it.
You are such
Just end on a good note.
Hey, I
didn't get the new numbers on procrastination. We'll do them tomorrow. We also have some other stuff, and Matlock has something coming up. I'm just cutting you out completely.
Wow.
Remember, your Daily Mojo is today.
I'm not even going to help.
Ron Phillips production.
Very good.
Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Now, you go home. Right here. Right there.
Cheat sheet. Who needs those?